Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Elendor Chronicles, brought to you by the Component Cast. But before we get on with tonight's episode, as always, there are a few things I need to cover. First off, one, I apologize if I cough down the mic at all tonight. I have a little bit of a raspy throat going on. I feel completely fine. I just every now and then sound like death. Second of all, there might be a little bit of extra static going on down my microphone. That is because it is a currently balmy 30 degrees centigrade here in the United Kingdom. And I have this beautiful machine called an AC in there, keeping it at a mild 22 in this office. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the best purchase I've ever made because, oh boy, would this room right now be absolutely unbearable otherwise. Other than that, there's a few other things that we need to cover. If you want to support this show, the best way you can do so is by becoming either one of our wonderful Twitch subs or joining us on Patreon. Patreon gives us the biggest slice of the pie and helps us create even more shows like this one. You can also show your support for free by simply liking the stream, sharing it with your friends, doing things like listening to our wonderful royalty-free soundtrack, and more. You can, if you see any of our shorts, make sure you comment on them, leave them a like, give them a little repost if there's a repost our social media, and then you can join in the fun over on our Discord, where we have our lovely community interacting at all times. Other than that, we have merch available, which only lasts for a show's limited run. Without further ado, however, I'm not going to hold us back. Let's get on with tonight's broadcast. So, we return this week to a continued dark descent. Our party, where we left off, was actually in a pseudo half session, where it was kind of like a double session-ish. Weird, timey-wimey technical difficulties with the show. But we returned with Valymr, Anrayne, Sunderstar, and Breton Montelier stood outside a portal hub locked away by dark magic in the middle of this blood steppe that they had been traversing at the head of an army for about a week, maybe, at this point. If that, a couple of days at the very, very least. The party began to unravel the mysteries of activating the portal, for there was no standard summoning sequence to get it going. However, there was a series of locks. The understanding of the locks took some time, naturally. The dark and mysterious ancient technology of the War of the Heavens presented the party with obscure information, stuff that they couldn't just solve right away, nor did they want to blindly try and fail, considering they were dealing with such a important but also powerfully dark location. However, after a small sacrifice, Breton unlocked the first lock by cutting his hand with the key blade. The blood went necrotic and ate away the large beating heart at the center of the portal, revealing the second part of the second lock. A sequence of tablets, a keypad, so to speak, mixed with infernal and abyssal language, as well as a second list of names, these names that had been pitter-pattered all over the structure before. After some careful insight, the party discovered a name that was doubled on both the list, and it turned out to be the password. However, it was the third and final lock that challenged our group the most. As for the portal to run, someone, or something, would have to become a hollow, as the hollow gate needed a vessel for its main controls. Not wanting to sacrifice anyone from their forces or one of themselves, for their battle was all elsewhere, the party decided to head towards a settlement about just under a day's ride away from where this portal was. A devilish settlement in a demonic landscape that opened itself with somewhat open arms. This slightly calm amongst the storm. Breton protected himself, casting Death Ward on their new travelling companion as well, Angel, who was an infernologist, someone who studied the culture of Devilkin, and hoping to offer his expertise, he joined you. You noticed a mix of street traders, food carts, various unknown goods, and all sorts. You decided that it would be good for you to maybe look into some of the establishments here, get a lay of the land, and find out where, one, they might find information about the portal, but two, find out if they could get some extra assistance. You entered a tavern by the name of A Lonely Night on the Steppe, which was decorated, shall we say, with centaurs, where you found out about two things: a magic store in town, but also that the town was ruled by the bank manager. You bought a gigantic 2,300-year-old wine bottle and proceeded to then head to a Zorp's Emporium. Breton, I have now updated you with how much you've earned from said Zorp's Emporium after I did those calculations while you were away. And finally, after selling wares, getting yourself some blood silver and brokering yourself to have some money to trade, you headed to the bank, where you were shown to the manager. And we left off with you meeting a smiling golden devil who is open to making a deal. Now, before we head on, I need to give you the chance to grab some inspiration. So first and foremost, these Devilkin in this city are all from one particular bloodline.
Death.
There you go. Well done. There is your sessional inspiration earned to you by Valymr. Okay.
I should have agreed in deals.
The devil, with his golden teeth, smiles at you all. So, you want to get through the portal, and you want me to bring forward the ceremony of Midgate to create a hollow for you. And I have no doubt that you'll want to pass more than just you three through the portal as well. I hear rumblings of an army progressing this way.
Yes.
Well then, I guess it's up to you to help make it worth my while. I won't lie, I have some scores that need settling and some debts to be paid, but, well, it needs to be beneficial of both sides. I'm doing you such a huge favor.
A return to normalcy.
A return to normalcy is, by far, a decent bargaining chip. However, I would be going against a lot of powers that be. Powers that, quite frankly, scare me just as much as, well, much more than you. Don't get me wrong, I have faith in your little adventure, but I need some assurances.
Let's lay our cards on the table then. We go in there, we're going to blow up the entire thing on the other side. You won't have to deal with the undead coming out of it ever again, nor any of those blasted demons coming through ever again. We go through and fail, nothing changes. We go through and succeed, everything goes well for you. You have nothing to lose by letting us give our shot.
Well, helping you get through and you failing has its own risks. Besides, changing the calendar doesn't happen easy. There is something you can do for me. I'm going to give you two options. When this all is said and done, I want a branch of my bank back on the mortal plane. Or you retrieve something for me from that keep you're going to.
The former we don't have the power to enforce.
Oh, if everything goes the way I think it's going, you'll have more than that power.
And what are we retrieving from you at the keep?
A friend of mine. They're locked up there.
Why are they locked up?
Our feud with the Nullians and the feral ones has been long-standing. I am a broker of sorts, and I have many ongoing deals. This is one that has been in the works for a long time. And I foresee that if you are to be taking that keep away from the Nullians, well, it wouldn't be a problem if one of their prisoners went free now, would it?
Ruby shrugs.
It really depends on who that individual is. Because the last thing that I want to agree to do is to march my happy ass and an army and individuals who are capable of ending world level threats to a keep that is trying to break the cosmos to release an individual who is going to inevitably make an attempt to do the same damn thing.
Fair enough. I suppose I can give you some assurances. They're not a being of great power. They are someone of sentiment.
How far up your little hierarchy is he? Or they?
About equal of me. I would say that they are my most equal.
You related by any chance?
Bonded.
We're not going to be problems with this individual in the mortal plane, are we? Or here?
Oh, they won't be returning to the mortal plane. They might make a stop here, but I think they'd rather go home. It's been a long time.
He shrugs at that. Big picture.
For what it's worth, I don't have too much of an issue with this.
I'll even sweeten the deal if you like.
I do have a sweet tooth.
That's when?
If
I like
can,
biscuits.
If I can get this transaction confirmed with a deal, rather than just your word, I'll commit some of my forces. Break the truce a little. I'd be risking a lot more, but you know, sometimes when opportunity presents itself.
I can't imagine for 1 second that the Knights of Nardathel are going to work alongside you, willingly or not. No offense.
None taken. But big picture and all that.
Well, small picture a second. I think my days of dealing with devils is behind me.
Well,
No pen to paper for me.
as a lazy tailor would say, suit yourself.
Take DM inspiration away from that one. Oh. What's your friend name? What's he look like?
Her name is Neska.
I apologize. And they look like?
They, but truth be told, I don't know what they look like anymore. There's no telling what they've done to her.
See. Well, that being said, the most I can offer you is my best attempt to do so.
Well, then all I can offer you is my best attempt at getting you through there.
I don't mean to be sarcastic about it. If I don't know what they look like, there's going to be a lot of chaos there. There's a genuine say, I will do my best.
I know it's kind of odd coming from someone the likes of me, but I believe you.
Good, because I'm a terrible liar. Actually, that's not true. I'm very good at deception, but...
Right, but that was the line.
Breton, you have any problems with it?
Every problem with it. This is the sort of thing that goes against everything that I stand for.
Okay, well, the other option is having them open up a bank on the material plane and seducing more mortals.
Yes. No matter how we do this, it does not work for me. So we are at a bit of an odd impasse. So I'm just kind of dealing with the consequences of that. So let me put forth this. I take it that you are a very old and ancient individual who's been around the block more than once and has seen a couple of stories told here and there. So I take it you remember a time that was back and before the green and pleasant day, at least on the material plane that we come from. I imagine you may have even experienced multiple of these such things from multiple different planes, as vast and wide as you are. And yet every single one of those planes, I have a sort of a reputation to deal with your type in a very specific way. And the fact that we've not already come to blows, let's take that on good faith that we should keep doing that. But as far as we are moving forward, our plane is going to see a bit of a restructuring. I guess that's really one of the best way we can put it. New things are going to be set up, new things are going to be torn down, and going to be putting the pieces back together. I, against my better judgment, would be the sort of individual who would try and ensure that every concept of what you do was made as difficult as possible in that new world. But should we come to an accord here, I would not be against allowing the status quo to continue.
I like you. Man with principle. Do you have a counter offer? If not, I do have a third proposal in mind.
The only offer you'll ever get from me is simple. You open that gate a little bit earlier. You let us go on our merry way. We will handle this as we came to do on our own. If the individual in that keep is released in the meantime through no direct means of ours or otherwise, good for them. If they get back to you, good for them. And in exchange, when all of this is said and done, the devils of the cosmos find that when people call out to them in the middle of the night looking to make a deal, they still can find that offer, rather than the great string that ties our cosmos together and allows those Faustian bargains to exist in the first place is still available.
He eyes you up and down for a moment. I have one caveat. Places like this, my little sanctum city, they are few and far between these days. One by one, our own status quo fell. I have a feeling that if I turn traitor and help you, I run a deep risk. And I worry not for me. I have ways of surviving, always have. I'm going to beseech your good nature. If the worst happens to this city, would you accept its innocence as refugees in your mortal plane? Those not of full blood or direct plenty of ties, those who could. Those who I have
Valymr will look at Breton.
protected over the years that might not be safe.
Make an insight check. Feel like that's a
Yeah,
very
go for it.
reasonable thing to do. That's a natural fucking 1.
Oh,
Oof.
oh.
Yeah, Valmyr's looking at Breton and he's expecting some version of yes here. He's very in favor of helping out the tieflings. Ain't no fucking druid.
Your third offer is just you request sanctum for those who should have been able to call the material plane its own already. Should this bastion of devil kind find itself come under fire in the future.
I don't know if you noticed. There aren't exactly cities or nations of my kin where you're from. It would be unusual. But you're right. There should have been a chance for them. So I'm asking for it now.
I won't make you that offer. But if one of them wants to, I won't stop them. And he kind of looks at Valymr when he says that.
Of course. Goes without saying. Personally see to it. It's not... You're not wrong. You may be a devil and your words may be riddled with lies and gold and all of the fineries to hide the venom. But at the end of the day, there's no talking your way around a truth like this. There is no home for people like me other than dispersed and out of the way. And maybe there could be.
You sell yourself short. You have something a little special about you. I think in your time that you've been adventuring, that you've found yourself in this task, you found yourself intertwined with the strings of fate. I haven't felt a fated moment this strong in a very long time. Whilst you might not want to put pen to paper, I will say that my word is my bond. I will bring forward the festival. I will make it known that, should anything happen, my people have the right to choose to flee or fight. And I will make sure that gate stays open for you, for as long as I can hold here. If the other parts of my deal come to fruition elsewhere, well, that's just bonuses. But I can sense when time is short and I need to make a quick sale. Move on to the next thing.
For what it's worth, this is the most pleasant conversation I've had with the devil.
Well, it depends which type you find. I'm one versed
Well,
in trade and deals and... Well, a good businessman is only at the behest of his word.
Crowley, not a Lucifer. I like it.
You know, if the deal goes sour, I have my bite, but... Quite. Avarice is my weapon of choice. Not wrath, not hate. A neutral in the evil.
Thank you. When can we expect the gates to be opened?
Oh, we'll have to begin the ceremony post-haste. I will begin the lottery.
Do we need to be present for it?
Not if you don't want to.
We do need to let our people know.
Give me 2 days. 1 full day. By the next dawn, there will be a new hollow for you.
Okay.
And for what it's worth, good luck.
Once this blood keep falls, and once all this is said and done, whoever is in prison there, if we don't let them go, I suppose there might be an opportunistic window for somebody who has the like mind to free a certain individual from there by themselves.
You could say that. And I also recognize that when a nearby keep that is no longer staffed with the undead and demons might need, food.
New management.
What? No, you might need food or supplies or might be a place to barter. Look, I'm trying to think of the upsides here, rather than it just being my neck on the gallows.
That even work on a really big gallows.
He's strung down to your size now. He's not. I mean, he could go.
He's not King Yama anymore. I got it.
Yeah,
Oh no, I'm hanging. Let me just grow into a bigger size so I
Stand
can
up.
stand on the.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we have a job to do at this keep. We have an army to do it, but not a single person of that army has any wish to stay in that keep or this plane longer than need be. At a certain point, we will depart, and that keep will probably remain standing. But at the end of the day, it may need new management.
Alas, my deals are tied to this plane and this plane alone. For now. I'd have to be in the money with my boss, upper management. We all have our remit in life.
Well, in that case, we've got some preparations to make, and I guess so do you.
Yes. Oh, but before you go. Is there anything you need? A small smile creeps across his face.
Nothing worth making a deal over.
Fair enough.
I don't suppose you have any advanced arcana lexicons about, do you?
Maybe I've got something better. Besides, as far as I know, you have blood money burning a hole in your pocket. I'll do you a deal. How about, for the small price of the money in your pocket that you just picked up at that dreadful establishment that I made a deal with too long ago, that money, and for confirmation that you'll at least let me know if my compatriot is all right, I'll empower you. I will give you a nudge towards your final potential. After all, you might need extra strength where you're going. Taking a castle is no mean feat. Drawn-out sieges are ill-advised.
Well, I'm not a particularly large fan of doing something I already said I was going to do for that. Your friend, if I happen to see them and can identify them, I'll do my best to make sure they get back to you regardless. Cross-planar communication is unfortunately not my forte, and I don't know how long we're going to be remaining here or there, because once at least us three are done, we're not sticking around. We're going back quickly as we came. So I can't really say I can do that, but what I can give you as a creature of avarice is something nobody else on this plane has. 4 of them, in fact. You seem to be a man who enjoys good food, yes?
Go on.
I have full recipes of my collection of my own earning that only one other individual in the world has, and she's not going anywhere, trust me. I can give you a copy of my cookbook and 4 of the unique recipes within. No, trust me. These are simply out of this world.
Sweet, but for the for the reward I'm offering, it's not quite sweet enough.
Oh, plus the gold.
I'm a man.
Before we continue, I want to point out, you don't know how much money we were given. We were given 11,652 blood silver.
Which is 2 gold apiece.
So 20,000 gold pieces is the arrangement that's being made for here with
for a copy of a cookbook and a boon that I'm going to decline anyway.
To talk mechanics here and move away from the devil talk, he's offering you a level up.
Yeah, that's good for him. As established, Breton's not making a deal with this guy.
No.
Would literally break his oath if he did so.
Yep.
I can't.
So I cannot make that deal.
Totally fair.
You get 1 level in any class you wish. It's not allowed to be Paladin. Also, the however many levels we have already of Paladin are wiped away. No refunds. I'm going to be a level 7 Warlock. I'll be a level 7 Warlock, and that's it.
No. That's fine.
Unfortunately, I can't give you what I don't have.
Well,
You already have my promise that I'll do my best, but past that, I can't give you gold. It's not mine to give.
Maybe if you get my side quests done, I will sweeten your deal. But for now, I guess this meeting is adjourned. Please, feel free to take a lollipop on your way out, if you are so inclined.
Do you think there's a doctor's office?
I'll turn about and leave without taking a lolly.
Oh, no sweet tooth.
I have a sweet tooth. It's just not for devil candy. That's a previous addiction. We've moved past that.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like, dragons and blind women.
The devil's candy. That does sound like a euphemism for
yeah, LSD or
anything.
Meth, yeah.
Ecstasy. Let's just say all of the words so we get demonetized. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Fine. It's alright. Then we'll...
Okay.
Ruby will leave.
So you leave the bank.
That could have been a lot worse.
We still haven't seen this play out. We don't know how much worse it could have been. We still don't know how worse it's actually going to be. It is in the nature of devils and fiends to ask for nothing and get everything anyways. But our options are limited. We'll see how this plays out. We've signed nothing, we've done nothing, we've dealt nothing. So if we do not keep our end of the arrangement in the long term, then we have, at the very least, broken nothing.
As you leave the bank, and you actually step back onto the cobbles of the court of the little townscape, you hear chimes, like on the wind, just like subtle chimes, and then you look. And above you in the sky, over the town, you just see floating petals of gold, like gold leaf streamers begin to like float down the street. And you see the people like on the street go from about their business to like looking up, and they're like, oh, Midgate. And there's like, how do I say it? There is a joyfulness to the citizens, like some sort of festival has begun. People they're like instantly excited, and it's like almost congratulating each other and talking in whisper, and yeah.
All right.
News spreads fast.
I need to spend more time preparing my spells. Are you all going to return with me to the camp, or are you going to remain here and watch the festival?
I have no desire to remain here, but we do have a large amount of gold that is not going to be useful for anything in the foreseeable future. So if you all wanted to take one last look around Zorbs to see if you could source something that might be useful for you going forward, might be the time to do it. The last time to do it.
Yeah, this silver can't return with us to the, material. So
this will, though, and Zarin has 2 pieces of Elysian gold.
Those are gorgeous.
To describe the Elysian gold, it is almost like they it's a gold piece with RTX on. Is the easiest way to describe it. It's got
ray tracing.
It's got ray tracing. Yeah, it's a ray traced gold piece. It's probably the easiest way to kind of describe it. No, specifically on this golden piece, there is like I said, there's these like light rays emanating from them, and the coloration is this brilliant gold. like it's a gold unlike real gold. Like it's it's just honestly beautiful, but it's if you hold the coin slightly to your ear, you actually hear like a heavenly song. Like a mythic
I was gonna make a joke because you said it's like gold pieces with RTX on. My brain went to THX, that brrrr sound that you like when you start a video. That's where my brain went to for some reason. Not there. It's
the New Line Cinema.
Oh, you
Christ,
know,
that's an old.
They might have a staff of the Magi or something for me in there. You never know.
And then, actually, on the coin embossed, both sides have a single symbol. Breton, make me a religion check.
I already rolled a 1. Surely we can't get worse.
I mean, it's only up from here.
Literally, we cannot get worse, but we didn't get much better. It's an 11.
An 11. Okay.
It's 2 1s, really. If you can go ahead.
The symbol is a torch, like a handheld torch, with like a ringed sun around the fire, and then around the sides there's like celestial writing. The religion check was for you to be able to like properly like kind of translate that. More so than anything. And it says, those that trade in the light buy themselves more time. Or a rough translation of that. Valymr, you notice that your eyes, the Runekeeper, do not translate that text. Yeah, they are like probably that big as a gold piece each. They're like almost mini medallions.
Fucking big, yeah.
Go back to Zorps, I suppose.
It may not be about what that individual is going to offer you, but Zorps is a notably resourceful business with many sources and ability to access a great many things. I'm sure you might find something there to your liking.
Also, I want to point out all of the things that we sold to get this still in the pie sheet.
Yeah, I know I've deleted about 3 of them. I deleted them like middle of last week, and it didn't stick, so I need to go through and redo.
So we get to sell them again, get more money. Let's go. The hells bring many more delights.
So I have been GMing right now, so I haven't had the chance to.
Can't believe it.
To wipe them out. I'm working on it.
All right. Okay, so Sorbs, or however you pronounce it now, with the
it's still pronounced
Zorps.
Mixed. It's pronounce like what? That like it's so similar. Just imagine it's like the Aldi split.
Aldi Little.
No, Aldi. You know, there's East Aldi, West Aldi.
That's news to me.
There's 2 Aldis.
Really?
Yeah. One with a blue,
I did not know that.
Blue and white logo, one with a blue and orange logo. The 2 brothers.
Since when did Aldi have a civil war? Or is it just self-contained to the
80s,
UK?
I think. Normally, it was also across like the Iron Curtain.
Absolute zero knowledge of this.
There you go, everybody. Look up and research the split between the Aldi family.
I thought that was just Aldi and Lidl. Anyway.
Anyway, the thing that Ruby is going to be looking for outside of a lexicon of arcane knowledge that she can use to help translate her spell, I just put into our or Ruby's chat. It is a magic item of the appropriate
I know
value
what
that
stuff
we
of the
have.
Magi is. She's like, I've played a sorcerer.
Okay, just making sure.
I don't know if there's anything specific that I'm looking for, but, you know. It's always possible that there's something to be found.
Oh yeah, we're not playing that. We're not playing the end.
I don't feel right dealing with these Zorps either. Just another name for a being that is walking into the material plane from another plane of existence, but at least the thing that they deal in is mundane, transactionary. You could do it with anyone. I also hope this encounter was very. I'm actually not, I'm not going to ask Anguilla questions. If I do, that's just going to slow Mitch down. let Mitch do what he do. No, he was. It's fine. So we have 2 days, give or take, before the portal's going to open. 2 days that the army can rest, which they wanted, they needed. So we are not losing an excess amount of time there. And that moves the timetable that we would have had to wait up, what, a week, 2 weeks?
We don't know yet how long it'll take to reach the Bloodkeep from going through the portal. I mean, it doesn't open into the key, as far as we know, so... Yeah, it's... unknowable right now.
Okay. I'm back to talk. If you want to talk to Angil, you can.
What? Zorping. We're Zorping so hard right now.
Okay.
Yeah. What? Anything special? Anything of interest? Anything for somebody who hasn't DM'd for 15 years, who doesn't know magic item list off the back of their hand, who could pull it? Yes, this here is whatever.
Okay.
That's not a bad thing. It's just I don't have the list of, you know.
Yeah, can I get the 3/5 SRD so I can get the Vengeful Gaze of God spell? Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. That
actual thing, by the way.
Fucking what? Some people have bad imaginations.
10th level spells are a hell of a drug.
Some of this you may not understand, Valymr, but I'm going to send you a message just because it's funny as hell. The damage is what's crazy about it.
Spellcraft DC 419. Okay. 12,000 foot range, naturally, of course.
3/5
points.
There is not a Staff of the Magi.
Of course not.
But I will throw you some extra stuff that they might have.
I'm going to ask the very loaded question here, because either one of you two will obviously fight to get your hands on it. Do they by any chance do they have a book of a Tomb of Leadership and Influence?
A tome.
So I think at 20,000, I think at 20,000 gold pieces, I think it's almost within our price range. And I know both of you would kill to get your hands on one of those.
Mm.
Hell, I would almost even settle for like a tome of gainful exercise too, because like Constitution, good for everybody. If we find one of those that all of us want, we'll Rochambeau for it. But
Sure.
if it's the leadership one, I'll let you two fight over that. I'm not gonna make the. I'm not quite that greedy. Paladin doesn't need that bad.
Do you want just items, or do you want to hear about scroll? There's some really key scrolls in here.
If you want to just give us a taper off a right quick list as well, Midge, you can. We'll make a note of it and we'll.
Okay,
we'll role play it out.
Have your pencils ready as I work through some of the items in this list.
Yep.
Okay. So there is a +3 half plate for 24,800 GP. There is a crystal ball of telepathy. That is, for some reason, it has a discount symbol on it, so it's 20,000. There is a Dragon Slayer longsword here. There is a scroll of anti-magic field. There is... I'm cherry picking from the big list. There's a ring of regeneration for 12,000. There is a... there's a robe of scintillating colors. There's a scroll of weird.
Not that weird.
Is
weirder, to be honest.
I'm sorry, that joke was for me. That was for nobody else.
There is...
Are you chewing on a fly swatter?
There's a very similar look, very familiar looking metal box that you would identify as a cubic gate. Now that's slightly out of your price range, but it does exist there. There's a ring of fire elemental command for 17,000 GP. And for 31,000, there is an Ioun Stone of Greater Absorption. There's also a Scroll of Power Word Kill for 20,000. Might be useful. Yeah. Those are the standout items. If anyone is interested in anything there.
Nope.
Yeah, most of those things I don't even know what they are, but I was thinking and wondering, what is the case with things to increase someone's strength? I
That
know
would
we
be one of
have
those
the.
books that Breton was talking about.
And then things like the belts and gloves and such.
You mean giant strength? Hang on.
The belts of giant
Okay.
strength. There's also like the gauntlets of ogre power.
Mhm.
Stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
One of those is significantly more expensive than the other.
Mhm.
They also do require attunement.
Yeah. Let me do another search in the, because I've only been looking at the legendary items in this one. Let me just go check the non-legendary.
Mm-hmm.
There is a belt of stone giant strength.
It's a pretty good one. That's top of my head. I want to say stone giants have a strength of 23.
Yeah.
That's not. Oh wow, Lake, you have such a good memory. It's just hill giants are 21. The next tier is 22 or 23. They're all odd. They just go up the list.
Mm. The reason I ask is because there may be an future where I can't use charisma to hit things with. Potentially. So if that was going for an reasonable price, that would be something I'd be interested in.
It's a relatively reasonable price.
That doesn't sound good, but
It's 16,000 GP. But attuning to it would raise your strength to 23.
well, that'll get my vote. But I'm one part of three, so I'm not gonna monopolize.
Ruby, you said there's nothing on this list that you wanted to invest in at all.
No.
No. Okay.
The Ion Stone is a close, but I'm not paying that much money for something that isn't that valuable.
I'm not sure we can make up the difference on that, even with all of our money put together.
Yeah.
I
Problem
guess
going
we've
to
got-
ropes. You might get something useful. You might get squat.
Yeah. I guess the other question is like, well, we need to spend all this money regardless. So if they can make a whatever potions that we can buy just to get along our way here too. Presumably
Supreme
they've got
healing?
potions of healing of varying degrees that we can maybe get our hands on.
Save me the spells. Supreme healing is worth about 4,000 a pop.
I don't know if they're that expensive.
They were. Look into them.
Buffering. The Zorp is buffering right now while he brings up the lexicon for potions.
I also, I'm gonna put this out there. I also don't know. This is. I'm gonna bridge this to the table as we move forward and we start getting ready for this final battle. I don't know how well equipped everyone else is going to be. How much do we want to put into trying to get them consumables to keep them alive for what's going to happen? Like, does the onus fall on us as the active party to try and prepare everyone for the events to come? Because if so, like buying 20 greater healing potions or what have you might not be a bad thing.
I'm okay with it.
It is just a food for thought that I'm putting out there. We don't know what the others have been getting up to. We don't necessarily know what state they're in or what they've managed to get their access to. It's just more. This is me putting that voice into the world of. This is our opportunity to make like this is the last shot before the end of the game theoretically. Like we need to make sure we need to figure out like what are we gonna buy, because if we don't buy it now, there may not ever be a chance again.
I think if we're talking about the other players coming back to the table, I can't imagine they wouldn't be given anything when it comes to...
I think Breton's referring to your ads in this upcoming combat. So people like Elwyn, people like the people in elsewhere, like right? Or am I?
I was looking at both of these examples, because we have, as it is, like we need to prepare for this upcoming combat, but we also have an assault on a Dragon Isle, and we don't know what our allies are going to have access to when we start going into that. So how much do we want to? Because there have been times where we've been given potions and stuff as source material. Like we have, each of us right now have a supreme potion of healing because we have been given a supreme potion of healing. But I'm more curious, like, how much do we want to source that stuff so we have extra when the time comes to start handing it out? Like, all right, guys, we got to kill a dragon. We got gifts to give. We got the potions of psychic resistance, which are going to be really useful. But how much do we want to again source more of that ourselves?
Oh, it's hard to say.
I'll take potions of supreme healing. Past that, I have no thoughts one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to assume that our men who came with us outfitted themselves the best things they possibly can before they got here. These are paladin orders after all.
They knew where they were coming.
Well, not just that, they have the funding, the order backing, all of that. We've relied mostly
I'm just saying they knew where they were coming, so they would have prepared meaningfully.
Yes.
One would assume.
Hold on, I'm just giving you a small list of my standout potions.
Actually, let me double check this list.
Oh, I've accidentally sent them to only Breton. My bad. Would you do me the favor of reading them out, bud?
We got ourselves Elixir of Supreme Healing.
An elixir.
Which it is a... Despite having the term Supreme in it, it is technically a potion of Supreme Healing, but it instantly cures any disease or poison affecting the drinker. The effects of this potion are so potent that it can stabilize a dying creature and bring them back from the brink of death without the need for a saving throw.
Wait, what?
Does this mean this is effectively like an elixir of Revivify as well?
Yeah.
Okay, so if a person's dead, it can bring them back to life as an emergency.
Yep.
That's 1,050. The Drought of Titan's Might. For 1 hour, the drinker gets a +4 to strength checks and saving throws, and their melee weapon attacks deal an extra 2d6 force damage. Their carrying capacity doubles. 1,200. A Vial of Arcane Surge. Upon drinking, the user gains an additional 3d6 spell damage on their next spell cast within 10 minutes, and then the spell save of that spell increases by 2. That's 600. A Phoenix Feather Tonic. Gives the drinker resistance to fire damage. It's resistance to fire damage for an hour, and the ability to rise from unconsciousness once during that duration with 1d10 plus 10 hit points restored, mimicking a Phoenix's rebirth for 4,000. An Elixir of Unyielding Vitality. For 8 hours, the Imbiber gains advantage on Constitution saves, regains 2 hit points every 10 minutes, and is immune to exhaustion. And the Shadow Step Serum. For 550, a dark, almost black potion that seems to absorb light, grants the ability to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space you can see as a bonus action for 1 minute, and you can use it 3 times before the effect wears off.
I'll now copy and paste those to the rest of you.
Yeah.
Those are the featured potions.
Featured potions. Alright. I'm going to do some quick math right quick. Because we've got... I need to now scroll up. It's that much. Which means we have... 20... Brain, you can do basic math. That's fine. Is... 1,300.
Also, sorry, the Phoenix Feather Tonic has the wrong D on it.
7,000. If we just want to look at this purely for what we need for this, guys, if you buy your stone cunning, your stone giant belt, that leaves us with 7,300 gold pieces. So, assuming, Midge, that these are one each of these for sale, and it's not just you can buy multiple of them.
There are a couple of them that there are multiple available. The cheaper ones. Okay. Anything above 1,000 is there's only one of them. The other ones there are multiple.
All right, then I'm gonna say that drops us down to 730. We're definitely going to buy one of those potions of Elixirs of Supreme Healing, because having a once-off free Revivify is not a bad thing. That brings it down to 6,250. If it's under 1,000, then we can buy multiple of them. How many vials of Arcane Surge do they have?
They have 3.
We're buying all 3 of those. That's 1,800. That's not how math works.
Unyielding Vitality be good for concentration checks. And I think having like a Shadow Step Serum each for that teleport. 3 teleports for a minute.
You have access to teleport. Ruby has access to teleport.
Yeah. You don't, and it might be useful for you though.
How many of the elixirs of unyielding vitality can we get our hands onto?
You can get up to 5 of those.
Alright, we'll take 5 of those.
Fair enough.
That leaves us with 1900. At 1900, I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna make my one selfish choice: the Draught of Titan's Might,
An exquisite choice.
which leaves us with 350.
I have 760 gold, like overworld gold, I can throw in, which I think is worth half here, right? So
Well, this is Zorp.
in...
I don't think Zorp's is charging us half on this.
But yeah, I can throw some money in.
Alright. So.
I think even for people who have teleport, Shadow Step is still a good one to have.
Yeah, it's basically a free Misty Step that you can use 3 times before that potion's done. No spell slot, no. No.
How many of those are there?
Shadow Step ones? 5.
How much money have we got?
After the list I've made, 700 from the Blood Silver.
And then put my money in, we can get 2 of them.
Breton is not... teleportation is super useful. I don't think Breton's looking at that as something he needs. But I mean, if you want to put your money into it and buy 2 of those as the last bit of cash, then fine. That works. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm just looking at this the most ergonomic way that we can spin this off and get this done. So we'll add 2 Shadow Step serums. So mark off, because like I said, 2 of those would be 1100, so 400 of your gold coming off for that, because it's 700 of that. That leaves us with technically like 4 blood silver. We'll leave a generous tip, because like I said, we're not bringing any of the blood silver back with us.
Sure.
But yeah, that's going to be a Belt of Stone Giant Strength, an Elixir of Supreme Healing, 3 Vials of Arcane Surge, 5 Elixirs of Unyielding Vitality, and 2 Shadow Step Serums.
Perfect. Transaction complete. I will, hold on. I'll drag the... The belt is in.
Right, we'll just start handing out,
And then yeah, the potions mark down manually, I think, if you don't mind.
Yeah, we have a listing here. It's fine. Ruby, congratulations. Here's 3 Elixirs of Unyielding Vitality.
I don't need them. You guys.
Do you mean the Arcane Surge ones?
Well, I was gonna say, well, no, 3 of the Elixirs of Unyielding Vitality, because presumably when you already have Warcaster.
I don't need them.
You don't need advantage on... Well, you can have one of them, because the regaining hit points naturally, that regeneration might be a big deal in the long run. For 8
Can I point
hours.
out, immune to exhaustion, you take this, you work on your spell, you don't need to sleep that night. This is a way for you to get that spell that you've been working on without, killing yourself in the process. I wouldn't mind if you spent all 3 of these bottles on that.
I wasn't having a problem with the saving throws. I was having a problem with having no fucking time.
2 days here to put some more research into it. You are getting because I don't think Valymr needs this, you are getting the 3 Vials of Arcane Surge, the 3d6 spell damage, and +2 to the save DC of your next spell. Like, that's
fine by me.
That's good.
So yeah, you get the 3 Vials of Arcane Surge. I'm still going to give you one of the Elixirs of Unyielding Vitality, just because it might be useful. Valymr, you can have one too. I guess I'll hold on to the other 3. I don't plan on using them, but somebody has to hold on to them, and we should each have one of these. The Shadow Step serums, if you want them, take them. Like, they're fine. Oh, sorry, no. We also did buy one of the Draughts of Titan's Might. I did put that into the calculations, too.
Midge, to clarify, once the 3d6 is expended, it is gone, as is the spell save DC bonus for that next spell, or is that?
Yes, it's for your
10 minutes?
next spell. So it's the next spell that you cast within 10 minutes of drinking.
Okay.
So
it's 3 offs of 3d6 extra damage and then plus 2d6. Listen, it's you're gonna hit some big spells here. Might as well give you the opportunity to make them that much harder to save on.
yeah, potions
What
are a
about
bonus action,
AoEs?
remember, so yeah, it would apply.
For AoEs, is it 3d6 spell damage added, or is it just to one person on the spell? Like if I throw a fireball, is one person getting an extra 3d6, or is everybody getting an extra 3d6?
Everyone, it's the spell cast, not the target. If it's an AoE, it's all of that damage is plus 3d6.
Got any more of them black holes?
Once.
So, sorry, what potion am I taking? Is it in the party sheet already, or?
They weren't added to the party sheet. You're to add them manually, but you wanted the Shadow Step serums.
Yeah. So how many how many of them did we buy?
We bought 2 of them.
2 of them. I'll take 1.
You're free to take both of them because Breton's not taking them, and Ruby has more second level spell slots now to do what the fuck she wants to than I think she needs to worry about. But if she wants the other one, she's free to take that one too.
I don't need them.
Yeah.
Okay.
My spell slots are also fucking weird. Why do I have 4 firsts, 3 seconds, 3 thirds, 1 fourth, 2 fifths, 1 sixth, 1 seventh, and 1 eighth? The
Fantasy
hell?
Grounds updated.
Yeah,
Probably.
I'm gonna have to track my spells manually. That's definitely not what it's supposed to look like.
I think mine also broke. I got 4 first, 3 second, 4 third, and then 2 more thirds from Pact Magic.
Yeah,
That's definitely not how that works.
No, I'll have to track my spells manually.
Obviously, Valymr, you get the Belt of Stone Giant Strength.
Oh yeah, that was a weird.
Spell points, spell points, spell points.
I've been trying to think of better ways to balance 5e, and one of the conclusions I came to is I think Grimdark, the rest system, might actually be the best for it, where you only get a short rest after you sleep for 8 hours, and you don't get a long rest until you do 7 days. But I think the compromise you make for spellcasters is you give them spell points, so they have far more control over what spells they cast, to make up for the fact that it takes a full week of rest to get those spells back.
Mm.
It's something that it's something that I'm very curious about, but no group ever wants to take that healing. It's like, no, I don't want to have to sleep for a whole week to get my stuff back. It's like, well, then don't be upset when I throw 12 encounters at you a day, because that's the only way to balance 5th edition.
To be fair, like, it makes sense to have to rest for a long, like, that puts D&D into a realistic time scale. So
Yeah. But players don't want realistic timescale. Players want their boom spells. Anyways, so yes, Mitch, we have offloaded the cash. That is done. We have bought the list of items. You all have been handed it. Ruby, your 3 vials of our vial of Arcane Surge, and Valymr, your belts of your Stone Giant, the elixir of Unyielding Vitality, and your Supreme Shadow Step things. A part of me, for a brief moment, wanted to ask how much the Dragon Slayer longsword was, but we already have the lance, and if we're going to do this, like, it seems funnier to do it with the lance.
And your sword is already very sexy.
Well, I thought we're not the only ones who could use that coming ahead. That might have been useful to have an extra one of those in hand. But I also assume if we had gone for that, we probably could not have afforded much else. This way we've managed to. Managed to do that. So it's all good.
Okay.
We got some real nice potions out of it.
Awesome. So, are you leaving?
And
now?
yeah, I think we start making our way back to the camp. Are we teleporting back to the campsite, or are we just gonna fly there over the next like couple of hours?
I can teleport us there.
We got 2 days to wait regardless, so if you want to save the spell slots, that's up to you.
I can teleport us there.
All right.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, because we were in Zorps and this was what they were selling, so they would be able to tell me. What's a cubic gate and what is too expensive? I'm just curious.
It would have been 40,000 gold pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And a cubic gate. You've actually come across one, or a version of one recently.
We have actually come across one before.
They're a 6-sided cube, each keyed to a different plane of existence. One of which is the material plane. The other sides are linked to planes determined by me. You can use an action to press one of the sides of the cube and cast the gate spell, opening a portal to the plane keyed to that side. Alternatively, you can use an action to press one side twice, and which will cast plane shift with the cube and transport the targets to the plane keyed to that side. The cube has 3 charges.
Is that what?
Each use of the cube uses 1 charge. The cube regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn.
Is that what Daddy gave me?
You saw a variant of one of these being tied up, flowing blood into the waterworks of Northville.
Because my devil daddy gave me something that allowed us all to shift our planes to Devil Land.
True, but that wasn't... You were taken to a place in the Underdark where there was a portal. It wasn't quite a plane shift. It was a teleport.
Okay.
Sure.
Whatever happened to those cubes? What happened to them? Did we destroy them? Did we...
They got sold to Zorps and now they're on sale for 40k.
No,
we didn't sell them to Zorps, no.
They
No,
went back
we definitely
to the Archmaester. The
You're right. They were
Because they
given
were
to the
his.
Archmaester. That they were his because they had multiple of these these boxes that they had used before. That's right.
Because they were using them for an alternative method, which was essentially to keep things out a lot of the time.
Oh, they teleport.
You know, that would have shortcutted our trip if we just took a couple of those and just marched an army through a gate.
True.
Like, we know they were already connected to the plane that we were going to. Like, where do you think the blood was coming from?
I haven't learned the spell Foresight yet, though, so...
Yeah, hindsight's a much harder spell to get your hands on.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I guess we teleport back to the camp. How far off are we, Mage? Are we on point? Did we miss our target?
I have to roll D100, don't I?
You are familiar with the camp.
We were pretty familiar here. We spent hours at the portal, so
Yeah.
34. I think that's still above the 25 range because it's very familiar. Don't check Dillingham. Yeah, I'm on target.
Yeah. Just check very familiar. Okay. I will say that if you go to the portal, this would land you fine. So, you go to the portal and you travel the extra 15 minutes by the 2 flying mounts that you have pretty soundly. And you return to the army encampment. The camp has changed a lot. because now it's actually being set up properly. There's the vast tents, enough for the 600 men. There is not a palisade, but there's stakes. And they're utilizing the long grass to hide a lot of the stakes. You think this might be traps for if the centaur people come? Hiding the stakes in the long steppe grass to, trip them up. Break a cavalry charge, that kind of thing. And yeah, it's a very similar layout of camp to the ones that you've had the previous nights. And also kind of back on the overworld, back when you first in camp. There is a small, while I say there's no palisade, there is a single earthen rampart that's been made aimed at the portal where there's constant guard and overwatch. And the scout camp has also been, you notice the scout camp has been deconstructed because the large spyglass that was over there is now part of this earthen rampart setup. But yeah, what would you guys like to do for the next 2 days?
Study.
Okay. How hard are you pushing it, Ruby?
Hard.
Okay.
We have those potions that you can stave off exhaustion. I think it's worth it.
The DC is 5 and then 10. I can't roll below a 15. Don't need them yet.
I think the DC starts higher than that, but your save is so good that it's really not that. And also, it makes you immune to exhaustion, so if you fail, then you can drink it if you need to ignore it for a while. Otherwise, it's fine.
I'm gonna call it a cup of legally not coffee.
Yeah, it is a cup of one hell of a coffee, is what it really is.
Yeah, she'll be studying.
What's the color of it? A deep green potion? Damn, I'm out of green monster.
It's monster, yeah.
green.
In which case, Ruby, you won't drink it just out of general principle because monster's terrible for you.
Yeah, I agree. Should never drink that shit.
That is one thing I've never picked up. I am not an energy drink guy. Don't do it. Won't do it.
Coffee.
My one vice is energy drinks. I have to say.
Well, I have multiple, but energy drink, I have 4 a day.
Wait until you get kidney stones, then you're really not gonna like them.
Oh, I try not to anymore.
Listen. I have trouble with gout as it is. I don't need more.
Anyway, do I need to make Arcana checks to fail?
Yes. If you're going to be doing studying for the next 2 days, give me every 6 hours. And if you're trying to stay up the entire time, I need 1 Arcana check for every 6 or so hours.
That's 4, 8, 12.
48 hours. It's 8.
8 checks. I'll just roll 8 check then. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
But after a certain period, some of those will be at.
My rolls.
You will need con saves in theory.
Okay.
Your lowest was 11.
My lowest was a.
3 plus 8.
I have a 1 in there, don't I?
I don't see a 1.
No, it's a 5,
what,
and
that didn't
a
work
natural
out.
20, a 15, a 7, an 18, a 7, and a 3.
Yeah.
So let's start with the first 3.
Actually, and forgetting every single one of those that's crap, you can re-roll with sorcery points.
True.
That's true.
So that was I don't know why that you rolled it that way. I don't know how you rolled it that way.
You know what? Let's re-roll anything that's sub 15. So that 5.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls you re-roll.
5 becomes a. What did I roll? Animal handling. Oops. Oh. So that 16 becomes a 24, or that 5 becomes a 24.
I'll write them down for you as well.
That 9 becomes an 18.
Nat 20 stays a nat 20.
Nat 20 is nat 20. 15 is fine. That's
Okay. Let's start with the
7.
first
We're gonna reroll.
4 and the 3.
So 17, 18, and natural 20.
So it's 24, 18, natural 20. And you are how far currently through your progress?
Halfway, 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Okay. So you're studying, researching. Every now and then you go find a cleared area of the steppe to practice. And you feel like you're making really good progress this time. Things are just starting to click. You don't know whether it's the impending doom, the world around you, the air that you're breathing right now, but fire just seems to be sparking correctly. Especially when it gets towards, you are feeling a little tired, but you are pushing on. I will need a con save. You are now 3 days of no sleep?
No, I've slept. Slept on the wagon over here, and I slept.
I don't know that you slept since.
Do we not take a long rest when they made camp on the way here?
You took a long rest, but I don't think you slept. I think you worked.
I might have.
So I
Approaching day 4, yeah.
Yeah. So I will need a Constitution save here.
Yep. Shoot. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, like I say, we have a jail-free energy drink for you
Okay.
31.
Fine.
if that didn't happen.
You are really pushing it. Like, tired. This is... It takes you a moment, honestly, to know that your spell is starting to work, because you're also fading off of the subtle hallucinations of sleep. With a natural 20 and 2 decent rolls there, you're going to add 2 more to your study progress, putting you at 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
The DC for your next, exhaustion is going to be pretty high. Do you want to continue with the rolls?
Well, if I fail them, I can just take a potion, so...
Mm-hmm. True.
Sure.
Okay. Are you re-rolling that 7?
7, yes.
Okay, spend the sorcery points. Remember, you're not resting, so you're not getting these sorcery points back right now.
Understood. 18.
18. Okay.
15, 18, 18.
You
You got an 18 and then a 26.
Yeah.
So 18, 26. Are you keeping the next 18 as well? The next 7, or are you re-rolling that one?
I'm re-rolling the 7 as well, yeah.
Spend the sorcery points.
Alright. That is now a 14, so that's actually lower.
That is lower by 1. You spending any more?
One last one for the 3.
Okay.
When you re-roll, do you get to choose, or do you have to keep the second?
With this, you keep the second, I think. With the sorcery points, you keep the result.
Let me double check the ability real quick.
Yeah, check the ability. By all means.
I think it says you must use the new roll.
Yeah, it's new roll.
I'm pretty sure.
You do best favor by the gods.
18, 26, 14.
Quantum magic, there we go. Yeah. One more.
And then
Another 18.
another 18.
For the...
You're on the cusp of a breakthrough. You know it. You can feel it. There's just something... that you're almost there for it. You just need a little more time. Maybe some field practice. You're at 9 out of 10. I will now need a con save.
31.
The DC was 30, so you stave off that tiredness once more. But that's what you're doing for 48 hours.
Yeah.
Now, let's see if what the others are doing and if that's interrupted at all.
Well, for 2 days, there's only one thing Breton can do, and that is, hi, how are ya? Hi, how are ya? Hi, how are ya?
Breton, give me... What part of Breton's psyche and being and presence are you leveraging? Are you going for... Are you just being a presence of... Are you relying on your martial skill, your presence of strength? Or are you being persuasive? Are you just being every man's man and talking it?
Listen, I could absolutely try and make an argument to game and if athletics check out here. I'm not going to. Breton is just making his way. Honestly, he's just making sure that the morale's not falling is really what he's doing. Like, these people are quite literally stuck in the abyss. They are living hand to mouth for what rations they brought. Those supplies are only going to go down as we're here. So he's just trying to make sure that, like, listen, we're doing our job and we're doing it well. Things are going well for us. There's no need to be concerned. We'll be in, we'll be out. No problem.
Sure. Fair enough.
Absolutely.
Give me 2 advantage persuasion checks then. 1 for each day.
First one's going to be a 25. That was perception. 26.
Nice.
It's one better. And a 25.
Morale is actually pretty darn high right now. But it's good that you're looking into it because me, the DM, is actually keeping track of army morale.
And it's going to stay that way, Midge, because I'm not... This is something that I am compulsively worried about.
As something... One, you've made the journey here pretty quickly. There's no talk in the camp of you having to sacrifice someone to get through this gate. Like, that information has not been disseminated. Like, the morale right now is tense, obviously. They're in hell. But the fact that they are taking the fight to the enemy feels good for these people. Like, they know that the villages and towns that they come from have been assaulted relentlessly. They know that the fate of the world is relying on them to be here, and they are taking the fight to them. That's something they're doing. So, like, that, and plus they have the presence of a team of fated heroes. This is, they know that they are going to be sung about one day.
Is there any visual dynamic for Ruby attempting to cast this when she's taking her field tests?
Oh, absolutely.
That poor mountainside is getting scorched somehow.
The light show every single hour of every single day.
It's so odd because obviously we are in, like, if you look really, really, really far up, you know that this plane has a ceiling. So it's like forming a cloud in a space that doesn't have clouds or that kind of weather. It just has swarms of insects. Is interesting.
Those insects have static electricity, rubbing their legs together like that.
Valymr, what are you doing for the 48 hours that you have to wait? Well, it's just less than 48 hours, but...
So, after he's got back and he's slept, he is going to see... Lady Theodora Sando, and obviously thank her for the loaning me her steed. And I'm gonna see if she wants to go on a ride to that city that we were just at.
Oh, okay. Sure.
And I was gonna go back and not like go shopping, I'm just gonna talk to the tieflings there.
Okay.
Get an idea of what life was like growing up in this place, and kind of I just want to get to know them a bit. Nothing too...
Sure.
And I'm taking Theodore because I want to just steal her out now. I don't want to go alone either.
Fair enough. Yeah. Um,
So you invited your lady friend along so you could take her car.
and actually,
That's the sort of person Valymr is, everybody. We've established it now. That's the sort of person Valymr is.
In fact, a number of the Havre people come. They take their horses and their mount. They
It's a day trip.
It's a small excursion. It's an excursion on a holiday.
Yeah.
Also, the Havre guys aren't as superstitious about planes like alignment. Like, look, they're used to being called vampires their entire lives. Like, they're not going to be as put off by some tieflings. Plus, you said there's good wine. So they come and they spend some time. And what so you're trying to get to know what the
if these if what I forget the devil's name now.
Dath.
Mr. Avarice.
Or the Avarice guy, yeah. You never actually asked his name.
Please, Mr. Avarice's father. Just call him Avarice.
Yeah. Sir Avarice of whatever this place was called anyway. If what he says comes to pass and these tieflings are in need of a home, I kind of want to get to know a few of them and see if there's some kind of internal hierarchy. Who is the community leader, if it will? Just kind of see what it's like, you know? Do they have a what's his name? Do they have a Zevlor?
Right, yeah. Okay. Sure. When you re-arrive at the city, the festival is in full swing. It's very... How do I say this? It's very... It's very midsummer. So...
Oh, fuck then.
I mean, you are in hell. Or the abyss. Yeah, you're not doing the layer of the abyss. It's been pretty hot the entire time. But no, so everyone's wearing white. And wearing golden flowers in their hair. There's a lot of drinking in the street. When you arrive, there are people just hand wine. And it's they've got like a seasoned fruit wine, almost like a sangria kind of thing that they're handing out. And there's music in the streets, and it's very vibrant, very happy. And everyone, but you also notice everyone's placing bets, trying to. There's a lot of games of chance and stuff where people are winning these little golden tickets. And as you ask around, you learn that the selection comes from a prize draw from people who was winning tickets. And that person will get the honor to be made hollow.
Okay.
And they are all
I will
very
make sure to
excited
tell
for
them.
it.
I'll make sure to tell the Havre people not to do bets, not to accept tickets, not to give tickets.
Yeah.
That part's not for us.
Do you also pick up a little more information about what happens? When someone is made hollow, their family is given a stipend as well as shares in the bank. So it's seen as a great honor because also it enriches the family. And it's kind of a really good way to leave something behind and keep familial security. Is the way that it's told to you and explained to you. Oh, Ungel also joined you again. He was not going to miss a chance to come back here when he heard you guys were going. Yeah. As for a Zevlor kind of person, you actually... The person people tend to look to the most seems to be a man by the name of Garros. And Garros is the assistant postmaster. And people look to him a lot because he's very forgiving when it comes to late payments and other things like that, in terms of when the citizens are like trying to send letters to their loved ones on other planes and stuff, which can be quite a pricey ordeal. But yeah, also visitors are very like welcomed into the festival. In terms of it's not they're not encouraged to like take part, but like you're given free food, given free drinks, you're treated very nicely.
Okay.
Are you planning on staying in the city overnight, or are you going to come back after a day?
I will ask the Havre people what they wish to do. I'm not going to ask Angel. I know what his answer is. But if the Havre people are cool with it, then
the
staying...
Havreans are like an actual feathered pillow sounds great if they've got room and board, which they definitely do here. Like, instead of sleeping in a tent in a random step of the abyss, I'm happy to stay in a city.
Okay. Stay overnight then.
Fair enough. You do.
Do any of the people with us have the sending spell?
I would say, for the sake of brevity, yes.
Okay. If not, I've got like 16 snapstones.
Yeah.
I've got 10 snapstones.
No, I will say one of them does. At very least, oh my gosh, her name. The Pink Knight. The Unicorn Knight.
Theodora Sando?
She would have a way of contacting, yes. Theodora.
Okay, I'll just get her to contact like Breton and say that we're staying at the city.
So Breton, you get told that.
Brett doesn't understand why anybody would want to stay in that city a minute longer than they have to, but you know, like not his circus, not his monkeys. Actually, that's not entirely true. At the moment, this whole thing is his circus and his monkeys. This is quite literally the task he has taken upon himself.
They are, yes, they are your monkeys.
We may have tails, but we're not monkeys.
It's not a circus either, you know. It's called allegory, I think.
Sure. Cool.
Yeah, this is the largest, like, grouping of tieflings in one place Valymr has ever seen. So he's gonna try and enjoy himself. It might be the worst place he's ever existed in, but it's full of his people, so he wants to get to know as many of them as possible.
Well, somewhat your people. You're not the same blood.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many of them tieflings in the overworld that he knows of.
No, but you get the vibe that the life here is pretty good. However, the festival and the whole situation with the portal is a little weird, and everything being so beholden to the bank also a little unnerving. But these people aren't enslaved. They are like citizens of this town. You get the feeling they could come and go if they wanted to.
They just have to brave the step.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's what Valymr is doing.
Valymr, if you're staying in the city at night, give me a perception check.
Okay.
think we're learning where the source of the part of the ship, part of the crew comment came from.
Oh, 23, it's not bad.
That's not too bad, actually. You only sleep 4 hours because of your ability to meditate. At night, you see, coming from another one, the other tavern. You went to the tavern that you went to before, basically. But you know there's another tavern the other side of town. And leaving that tavern at night, you notice an entity you're familiar with, or familiar with their kind. In all black armor, with that stench of death about them. You see one of those Death Knights.
I thought they were just like undead.
They are.
Is this a case of I've forgotten his name from the game Medieval. I think he goes to the tavern and he drinks a beer and it just drips through the ribcage.
This Death Knight seems to be. He seems to have come from the tavern. He seems to have gone to the postmaster's, mounted his horse, and is beginning to make his way out of the town.
I'm not here to make fights. I'm not here to... I'll let him go, but I will... Do I see him coming out of a tavern, or do I see him come out of the postmaster?
You see him coming out of the tavern, pause for a moment, then go to the postmaster's, leave the postmaster's, mount his horse, and begin to move out of town.
I'll let him leave, but I'll go into the postmaster after.
Cool. We'll come back with the second half of our broadcast with that then. So, use this time wisely, friends. We're going to go on our 10-minute break here, and we will see you shortly.
Hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex. I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere. And if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch. And just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Trade Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than Words on paper. When does it add more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's wrestled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing, art, that's storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can dutifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click and a motion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast.
Somebody serve Midge iced tea.
You will never serve me iced tea. Never. Never serve me iced tea.
I saw someone do a thing where it's like, oh, easy way to make iced tea. Just put a tea bag in a bottle of water and then leave it in your fridge overnight. And I'm like,
That's not how we do it in the South, but all right.
Okay, Valymr.
yeah, you put it in the microwave first.
How long are you waiting for the Death Knight to leave town before you head over to the postmaster?
Well, if he's riding away from the postmaster, I'm not gonna wait until he leaves town, but I'll make it. You know, I'm not threatening. I'm just a tiefling in a town of tieflings. You know.
Hmm. Are you moving with confidence or with stealth?
I'm so confident right now.
Okay. Make a performance check.
I'm good at these.
It's nighttime. You are a tiefling.
I'm not as good as I thought I was. 9.
Oof.
Luck. You can use luck.
Okay. Use your point of luck.
7. I'll use point of luck.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it, we're taking the 11.
An 11. Okay. As you pass the Death Knight, they clearly notice you. They don't attack. They don't engage. But you do notice them pick up the pace on their leaving of town.
I'll give him evil eyes.
He's a more evil.
Look. I feel like he's quickening the pace because of me. Therefore, I feel like I rolled high on the performance. Like it was actually an intimidation check.
Sure.
That I rolled really high on. Yeah.
Sure. No, fine. Cool. The postmaster's is open. It's open 24 hours here. And you step inside. It is a pretty mundane looking building, consider, like, once you're inside. It is, there's like 2 tellers behind sheet glass and a big like wall of what look to be lock boxes behind them. There's a small roped off cordon, and there's also a number of like just post boxes in here of various colors, and they have different names on it of, you think they're place names, but you've never heard of them.
I will go up to the teller and say, I've been sent here by the manager. I need to know what that knight was doing here and who he was trying to contact. On the manager's orders.
Make a persuasion check. Oh no, a deception check.
I was going to say it should be
Make a deception check. DC 25.
I will use my final luck.
Okay.
DC 25. Okay, I needed that 20. That's all I've got. Yeah, 17.
Okay. They look at you. I will need a written certificate from the manager. You know how it is.
You would have one, but for the fact that that Death Knight has just left this establishment and I do not have the time to retrieve one, this is an exceptionally pressing matter. You will have your written certificate after the fact, I will come back with one. But right now, I need that information. It is prescient.
I'm sorry, you know the rules. I can't without a written consent from the manager. Especially in the middle of a festival like this. I wouldn't want to lose out on any chances.
What information can you give me without written permission from the manager?
I can tell you they sent a letter.
Can you tell me how long it will take for that letter to be delivered to where it is intending to go?
Make a persuasion check.
$23.
Well, I haven't filed it yet. I can hold off on filing it. But once it's filed, the transmission will be instantaneous.
Can you do me a favor and hold off until after the festival has wound down? It is for the security of this city that I ask this.
Ooh. Make a final persuasion check.
15. Man, my rolls are ass.
15. I can delay until after the festival's over. Those Nollians won't know the thing.
I appreciate that. What's your name? Actually, do I recognize this person as Garros?
No, this is a younger, female-looking tiefling. Afvari.
Athari.
Afvari.
I thank you, Afari, and please don't pass along this information. You holding off may have saved many of the lives here in this city. The Nullians are not your friends.
Business is business.
It is, but at a certain point, sometimes you don't really want to sign away your life, as it were. I guess that's what this festival is all about, though. Some business isn't worth having. Some business is detrimental
She
to oneself.
shrugs her shoulders. What are you going to do, Valymr?
Is that what she said?
No.
Or
That's
Mitch
what
said.
That's what I, the GM.
Okay, you did it in her voice. Gold's fucking worthless here, so tipping her some gold isn't really going to do anything. I don't have any blood silver.
I mean, they
I
take
will,
gold, it's just half as much.
Yeah, I will just say thank you, and I will turn and leave.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Where are you going now?
Just back to where all the Havaranes are probably still sleeping.
Sure. Yeah. You can
And
do
then,
so.
when everyone's awake and, I don't know, we've seen a bit more of the festival, then we'll probably head back to the camp.
Okay. You can do so. Probably about lunchtime the next day. You return. Is there anything you want to do back at camp? You get in for about evening.
Not particularly. Just maybe some scouting, but I don't have anything specific.
Okay, just general tasks. Roll me just a perception check then, if you're going to do some scouting.
That one.
Okay. On the very next morning, you all see a small procession moving towards the portal from the city side of things.
And so day 2 of the festival is just, congratulations guys, we now have to walk an entire day to get to this fucking portal. That's fair. Oh god, that means I have to walk an entire day to get back. Like, imagine at the end of, like, God, I'm trying to think of like a good example. For some reason, I need a good example of a festival that City do on regular. Mardi Gras. Why the fuck is Mardi Gras the first one comes to mind? But imagine at the end of Mardi Gras, it's like, yeah, you know, there's this big pillar outside of town that we take a full day walking to, and then we take a full day walking back. It's a great time.
The festival is just a marathon. But everyone. There's no spectators, it's just all marathon.
No, it's not like the full town have arrived. It seems to be like
The Chosen's family, kind of.
Yeah, you would assume that there's like the chosen individual, the family, and like a number of guards and a very familiar looking individual in gold robes. Which they're in gold robes. The chosen individual seems to be in silver, and then the rest are still in those white gowns with the floral headwear that people have been wearing. And you see, if you're going to, are you guys going to go towards the portal for this, or are you going to just let it happen?
I don't want to see someone stab themselves.
Fuck, one of us should probably be aware of what's going on, and I don't think Breton is comfortable with it, but if he has to be the one who shows up to this fucking thing, he will.
I was going to say, aren't you also in possession of the dagger that is required?
I actually do have the dagger still, yes.
I mean, if we need to be there, then maybe we could all be there.
I would say, where would you guys be when you see this? Probably at the Earthen Rampart.
I was thinking, with the scouting, I would have been.
Well, this will be the day after. This is like the next bit, like the.
At breakfast, then I guess.
Yeah, to notice that. I think what would have happened would have been someone would have noticed this through the spyglass, and then they would have called you guys over to the rampart.
There it is.
I think that makes the most sense for this scene. It's at this moment that one of your compatriots pipes up. The cleric Rosalinda. She turns to you and says, I am honor bound to preserve the last rites of anyone to learn of that. And remember and record their names, if necessary. If this individual is giving their life for our cause in one way or another, I would be honored to go as your representative. I would feel honor-bound to.
It would be right for their name to be recorded in what we do now.
You're not going down there alone. Okay.
Borrow the Pegasus again.
You just need to get yourself a Pegasus at this point.
See what happens.
It's not your Pegasus, Valymr. Just keep that in mind. It's not
That's
your
why I
Pegasus.
It's why I said borrow.
Start paying its upkeep. Rosalind does have a flying mode of transport, so she would need assistance if you're bringing her. Okay.
She can go with Breton. It's because Breton's gonna have to go down there.
Okay. Sure. So you make your way over, and the bank manager is in those in gold robes and is looking very faux holy. He's more like a televangelist. Like it's where it's like gaudy levels of like, because it's just a bright, it's almost like sequin gold, like priest robe that he's in. It's kind of like subtly offensive. That's like, it's a lot of wealth that you're wearing. But he welcomes you over.
And you said he's wearing gold robes. I'm like, yeah, the robes, they're gold. And then the thought for a second is like, no, those robes, this is probably literal gold. Like he has actually got gold robes.
Like gold, like shining, and he's just like, he brings them.
This guy is quite literally gilded.
Welcome, friends. We have chosen an honored hollow of Midgate. They will now commend themselves to the task of becoming the hollow man of the gate. And for it, their family will be justly rewarded and kept well. To complete this task, however, I believe you have something we require.
I have no idea where Breton has been keeping this knife, but he will produce the knife.
Mm-hmm. Knowing Breton, it is wrapped in, like, it's not seeing the light of day, so it's probably
it's wrapped in purity seal.
or something that sort of like it is wrapped in some sort of cloth doused in holy water, probably then shoved under the breastplate, where it's not like someone will have to fight him to grab it. But you see, and the person in the silver robes, it seems to be a older tiefling man. Looks to be like a spriteful 70-year-old, maybe you would say. Like he is fit for his age, but very noticeably old.
Can we have the name of the one so brave enough to aid us in this journey that we're embarking on?
Oh, yes. Would you be so kind as to introduce yourself? The individual steps forward and says, My name is Solus. The bank manager says that it was through your kind donations that we had a Midgate this year, so thank you.
Feels strange to say you're welcome at a time like this, but it is us that should be thanking you.
Well, Solus, now's the time. Say your piece to your family. And the devil takes the blade from you, Breton.
I mean, they need to take it. He doesn't have a choice.
And Solus goes and speaks to his family and wishes them well. And then is handed the dagger by the devil. The devil then begins chanting in Infernal. And he says, a price paid with blood, a contract signed in your name. Once you are hollow and once is sealed, your family will remain under my protection and guidance. Go now, Solus. Become hollow for me. And as he says these lines, like a golden curtain, similar to the color of those tickets, like rises around the area where the heart was. And then there's just silence. Until suddenly you hear of a beating heart, and then the drapes drop. And now you see, in the place of where Solus was. Sorry, didn't get to that in time. You see a hollow entity. Their body affixed to the controls of the gate. The final lock churning and the rock breaking away, revealing those runes, and you see flickering to light. The portals begin to whirl with energy. They aren't connected anywhere. But then you also see below this entity, like at the foot of where someone would normally walk in, just this small heart beating, affixed to the machine. The devil then turns to you. Well, that's my part of the deal done. Good luck out there.
How long is the portal going to stay open?
Oh, this hollow is... they'll last a good while. The portal will remain open long enough, definitely, for you to be able to get your army through, and then the entity will be able to open it on the other side a couple of times. You've got 10, maybe 20 uses out of this one before they become too weak, or I struggle to keep them going. I'll do what I can to keep the wheels turning here, and for you to be able to complete your tasks.
Well, we better get to it then.
Yeah.
Well, you know who I am now. If you need to contact me, I'm sure you'll have means at your disposal to do so. Now, if you don't mind, I have a family to return to the city and a stipend to pay out.
Yeah.
I'll turn to the family and say, keep this one in your hearts always. He's done his sacrifices for the greatest good.
They somewhat understand the sentiment, and they're more. It's the greatest honor. Like, they are like very positive. Like, nothing about this is sad for them.
Right, washed, cold as fuck. Okay.
These are your people.
Look, they're gonna need some reprogramming.
Hey,
Ain't no hollows back on the overworld.
yet.
I hope you're satisfied, Rosalinda.
No, I am. I would feel like I had failed if this one went unknown. Can't say I agree with their customs, but our deed here is great.
We can try and fix a great many things, and we can try and set right a great many things, but this is a very unusual scenario where this is not our people, this is not our plane, and this is, in the most unfortunate sense of it, not our fight.
Mm.
At least not right now.
No. I hope we get into a fight soon, though.
Yeah.
We have no idea what's waiting on the other side of this portal. Does it seem like... I guess this is going to be more of a curious... can we see through the portal to what is on the other side?
The hollow that you... Okay, so mechanics. Let's talk mechanics now. Scene aside. This hollow has the ability to gate you to various places. You can activate the portal, and you will be able to see where it connects to once it happens. But right now, the portal is just powered. It's not connected. There's nothing like... There's no impending threat of something coming through right now, or you pushing to that connection. Right now, it's just like... You've plugged the battery back in, basically. And everything is unlocked for your ability to transit. And also, this hollow seems to have been keyed to your command, so it will listen to you. It won't go against orders.
Say that, but we are moving from one enemy territory into another, so we may get to the other side and find that we do have very immediately a fight on our hands.
I think maybe we move the army to the border of the portal. Get this hollow to open it, and we immediately march through.
Do I have... I'm sorry. Do I have another day for them to travel from that city to the portal?
That was...
No, so
That was the second day.
That was the second. Like, there's been a weird... Because I did it out of order. I didn't do one day.
Yeah.
One day. So it's
okay.
Valymr was the last to do it because he'd only done one day, and then we caught up.
Okay. I'm just trying to find if I had time enough to squeeze a long rest in there before I go on day 5 without sleeping. 6.
No, but I hope you don't need those 2 spell slots as we're about to go through this portal and potentially fight some things.
We'll wait 8 hours, but all right.
We should all meet up anyway to do the ritual of Chalice of Doodad,
Yep, you've got prep work you need to do.
and we got Lux and Beacon as well to.
But
cook.
the portal is now at your disposal.
Do we wait 1 day of sleeping so that Ruby is at full potential?
It'd be nice.
We're not telling anybody about the letter, are you?
I would have told you, yeah.
If we are on a timetable that they're trying to send messages, every day is going to count. We don't know what the letter is. They could be informing the Bloodkeep that we're coming. They could be informing the dragons that we're coming.
No, yeah, that's right. I did get the post office to delay until after the festival, after which point it would be instantaneous. I think at the very least we get the ritual and the Lux and... Well, I guess not asleep then?
Fuck me, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, I'm all out of my luck as well.
Yeah.
No, but if that letter goes through, that gives them advance warning, and if we're doing asleep, that gives them advance warning and time to prepare.
I don't think it's going towards the Bloodkeep. I think it's going to the Dragon Isles. Because why would a Nullian who is already here need to send a message to the Bloodkeep?
I can't get through the portal. There's an army waiting to go through it. They've now got control of the Hollow.
Not like they have any idea what we're doing, though.
I think they can. I think if they know that we've camped out literally around the portal, they have an idea that we're trying to get to the Bloodkeep. One way or the other. It's going to take us presumably more than 1 day to march to the keep once we get through the portal, so... we'll see. I think getting through the portal as soon as possible to make sure that they can't... If in the hypothetical they are trying to alert the keep itself to be on guard, ensuring that they cannot muster a force or an extra force to set up a defensive perimeter around the portal for when we come through is in our best interest.
And then we sleep. We can get a sleep on the way to the portal. There's a wagon. You can rest in the wagon, for example. But yeah, I think my initial worry with this letter was that it was going to the Bloodkeep, not the dragon. I didn't even think about the dragons. But either way, I think if we do a sleep now, whether it goes to the dragons or to the keep, I think there will be a force on the other side of the portal ready to stall us. Whereas if we go now and then travel to the keep, I don't think we get stalled.
I don't see how they could alert the keep that the portal closed up until very recently. And in order to alert the dragons, they have to get to another portal, which is presumably not close. I think we've got that.
That's why we're talking about the letter that they were trying to send from the post office in town.
Yeah.
That's the point.
It still has to travel, doesn't it? It's not like it just
Well, the letter quite literally, it is delivered instantaneously.
Yeah.
No, never mind.
That is why them putting off sending it until after the festival is such a significant point. That's why we prioritizing moving now and trying to keep them from...
Well, I'm down to about a third spell slots, less than a quarter of my spell points. So, I'd appreciate a rest.
Well, with all the respect it is due, you cannot hold an entire army for one person.
And again, I think if we rest now, we get accosted on the other side of the portal instantly. Whereas if we go now, I don't think that would be the case. Would be my guess, at least. And there will be time for a sleep before a fight.
No intel on what's on the other side whatsoever.
It is an inference. It is an educated guess.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, mechanically, once you connect the portal, you will be able to see through it before you advance. And you are told in theory, as well, the Hollow explains, this Hollow is commanded by yourselves. It won't open for others.
What we were able to glean from it is it's more like the number of individuals that can pass through this. Like the army can move through this once, and it is taxing, but it'd be a lot less taxing to send one person through. Yeah. So if Ruby's trying to infer, it's like, we don't know anything about it, then Breton will say, all right, I'll open it right now, and I'll go see what's on the other side of the damn thing. We need to recon it. I'll go recon it.
And to be fair, they said that to explain how the connections will work, it's actually far more taxing to change the connection point of where you're sending it than it will be an opening and closing, like locking and unlocking it, than it is the actual amount of people going through. That's the real issue. Once the gate's open and active, that's a confirmed use. Like it will stay open, and then you'll confirm a use to lock it, basically.
So one person is the same as the entire army.
Yeah, and you have essentially 20 lock and unlocks. 20 lock changes. 20 manipulations of the portal system.
My vote then is for we get the army pressed on the border of the portal. We get it opened. We all march through.
Saved ourselves a lot of time here. Let's actually use it. Elwyn, let's start making the rounds. Let's start getting the camp packed up. We're going to be moving soon.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you return to camp. You talk to Elwyn. He nods. What preparations are you doing today?
What ritual are we doing today? If we expect that we are going to immediately get into a fight, Hero's Aid might be useful, or Air Strength might be useful. But if we're planning on dealing with the same old, having to make checks to navigate around, Mother Wild Splendor might also be the call.
Yeah, if we're navigating for a day from the portal to the keep, I'd be in favor of Mother Wild.
All right, votes have it. Mother Wild Splendor.
Okay.
Mother Wild Splendor, Midge.
Remember, you can give that to some of your team as well.
Yeah, we have the list of people who that goes to.
So you're giving it to them as well. To be fair, like, remember what Mother Wild Splendor does in terms of those boons? That's very applicable on a lot of your ads.
That's what I said. They're getting that. I'm trying to find the list because the list has gotten lost. Let's see here.
I saw the list a minute ago as well because I used it to find Rosalinda's name. It's just below.
You just search.
It's the last time I talked in chat, really.
Breton, Ruby, Valymr, Hamo, Ferdinand, Vassal, Theo, Bethany, Elwyn, and Rosalinda.
Mm-hmm.
I will copy and paste it again. I'll put it in the handouts.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, Bethany also being one of the individuals who survives for us, so that's a very smart individual to get this. Yeah, and the guide having that blessing is going to be a big deal.
Then us three with the shard of reality, Lux and...
Yep. The Shard of the Mirror. Awesome. Okay. It's going to take the camp about an hour to pack down. Like they're not going to worry about picking up the stakes and, like, redigging the earth and rampart. That's there. That's done. Like, it's just grabbing your supplies, dousing cook fires, those kind of things. It's...
Yeah.
But everyone can be ready pretty quickly. And they form up, battle stance, ready, like, just in case. The army positions itself in formation, the same sort of marching column, but that defensive marching column that you've discovered, and you move to the portal. The 20-minute walk.
How far away is the portal from the hollow? Are they on basically the same place?
It's like...
He's at it? Okay.
Yeah, it's like 30 foot. Like...
Okay.
It's like a central observation point that you'll all have to walk past to then go through the main portal arch. So you designate to the hollow to connect to the blood keep. Are you instantaneously opening it, or are you wanting to keep it closed for the moment?
I think once the army's in position, I think once we connect to it and the army's ready to march, I think we just open it and...
Okay. So...
I know Breton's going to go through the portal first, like he did the last time, to see what's on the other side before the army pushes through, but... Because that was how we went to the first portal. We kind of, like, the party charged through it to see what was on the other side and be ready for it.
As a note here, you can connect and instantly open as one, or you could connect, view, and then spend another point to open it. Because you could connect to it locked.
I don't think there's any reality where we're not walking through based on what we see. Because what else are we going to... Oh, we see something that makes us not go forward? I don't see that happening.
Also, this individual's already become a hollow for us. And I hate to prose this way. Is their existence diminished by the number of times they expend, like by the number of charges they have left?
The individual that became the hollow is no longer there. Remember, this is now a body being incubated by the hollow man of the gate.
Yeah. Okay.
So worry less about that individual.
I mean,
they're
opening and go through is probably just his thing. Yeah.
It's the one charge.
The army gathers. You tell the hollow to open to the Nullian Blood Keep, to that plane. And you see the portal ripple to life. It almost like irising and filling with blood that then bulbs out, and then you see briefly for it, and then the clarity of the vision just goes to like full. It looks like it's in front of you. And in front of you, I'm going to get you all to open a document.
Oh boy.
Because you have an image that you can open. I believe it's called Blood Keep.
Oh yeah.
So this is actually the view you see from the portal. You instantly see you're kind of up on a mountainous ridge looking over this vast lake of blood. And on an island in the center, you see this vast keep. It is backed completely by another mountain ridge on one side. There is a singular, like, straight crossing towards the main gate, with splitting the river each side. On one side of the river, there seems to be some sort of lighthouse structure away from the keep. But yes, you see...
You said Bloodkeep Mage? I don't see Bloodkeep. I see the Castle of Blood. Was that it? That's the one. Okay.
Sorry, I muted the stream, but not you. Yeah, that's the one, I believe. You should see an image now. You'll also see deployment zones.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, we have the right flank, the left flank, the frontal assault, and aerial spelled incorrectly, but that's fine.
Yep. Well, it wouldn't be a document made by me without a spelling mistake, would it? So, where I've flanked this is like, it's possible to get to the left and the right hand side. The left side would require going round the lake and going across what seems to be another like thin connected path. Sorry. Oh, cough really came on for a moment there. A thin connected path along the wall that then opens onto another sort of bit of plain, like a plateau where you could station people. The right flank would require you to sail across the lake, and then again there's another plateau. The frontal assault is just straight across that straight crossing, and then aerial deployment is you have air assets. The complete rear of this is like sheer like really rough terrain cliffs, and would be very difficult to deploy large forces there. It's not impossible, but in terms of actual like on the field units, probably unlikely. Individuals, maybe. But this is a large citadel as well.
So this thing is, we're right on this thing the second that we come out.
So you're up on a cliffside above it. It would take, like, that is the like rough distance of like eyesight to where you are. It's and then this cliffside is like, it's a winding path down a bit, but it wouldn't take too long to traverse, but it's 2 hours travel to like actually be combat ready, or down to the bottom of the plane where you'd be able to, like, there's also enough room up here that you could probably camp, like set your camp by the portal. Deployment would take time though.
Do we have any? I don't think we brought much siege equipment, but do we have any siege equipment that this would be a good position to start setting up on?
A lot of siege equipment is made on the field with materials you get there.
You don't
There's
have
no
you do
trees.
Okay, so on that front, you don't have siege equipment as in you didn't drag a trebuchet with you.
Yeah.
You did bring mechanical parts, and you do have some siege engineers. That is something that came with you. They're the people that made the ballista the original time that were like holding out. Building siege equipment is going to be possible. Yes.
I'll just ask because if we're literally like an hour or two just, and this is not like a distance thing, we're like an hour or two up on a mountain. We are much closer than this we thought. Like, I mean, if we're up on a mountain, like that gives us a really great fucking elevation point.
You do have an elevation point, yeah. But it's like, that is like, this is eyesight distance. Like, that is what you're seeing. Sure, it's a couple of, thousand. An exact measurement I'd need to actually sit and work out. Like, you're out of spell range, but you're not totally out of spell range, if you get my drift.
I wonder.
I mean, we are here, we are through, and we are on this side. There was not an immediate fight. There is room to camp up here. We should recon the area, plan out routes so we know exactly where people need to be deployed and how we're going to do it. So,
get that fat telescope set up instantly.
We always expected this was going to be a siege. This is not just run through, kick in the door, and take this damn place. We're going to have to siege it. So, if this is going to be where we want to launch this all from, it seems as good a point of reason to set here. In the off chance that we need to fall back temporarily because we control the portal, we probably want the camp to be close to the portal as possible as well.
Having a fallback point at the portal, yes, we should have forward defenses. Like you say, we're on top of a mountain, winding path down. I would want to build some sort of barricade situation further down the mountain. So if we do have things try and break our siege, we have places we can fall back to rather than having our first line of defense and the final line of defense be the same place at the portal. Like having layers of defense would be ideal.
Yeah. Sorry, because I missed a lot of that conversation. The area that you are would be really hard for someone to attack. Also,
Doesn't
you
mean
do
they won't
notice that
try.
there is a hollow on this side. It seems to be the same hollow.
I think we probably... Do we leave the gate open right now?
So you can still control the gate from this side.
If it appears to be the same hollow, is our interpretation that there's essentially a representation of this figure at each exit to the gate? Because that is how it is controlled. Fair enough. Okay. If it isn't any more taxing to open or close the gate, what are the... we are in control of it, but anything once the gate is open, can anything use it? Is that our belief?
It's like essentially an open door at this point. You basically
So-
spend a point on a connection. Connection and opening is one because it's basically each action that you decide to define to do with the gate is a usage. So, like, you have the ability to lock, you have the ability to open, you have the ability to connect. Those can be combined as one action. They're just the commands you can give.
My concern about leaving it open is this position's a lot easier to assail from behind. Like
Yeah.
if we set up a camp around the portal, then that basically is just literally a doorstep into the portal.
Okay.
Like
No, I agree with that.
we have control over the opening and the closing of the gate. And I guess the other consideration to this is like, how long did it take to open this, Midge? Like, was this something where we just wanted to open it? Was it open in a second, or
It was a couple of seconds. It was like, you would say one, maybe... no, I will give you a definite on this. It was 2 rounds of combat.
Okay, 2 rounds is yeah. It's not like okay, it's all right, Hollow. We want this gate to open, and then it's like 10 minutes later the portal opens. No, two rounds is
Pretty
like
instantaneous.
if you can't do 2 rounds to set something up, then the position was already lost and you were fucked anyways. Like there's nothing you could have done. I think once we can confirm everything has moved through, closing it is probably the better bet.
Okay.
Just to make sure that we don't have something come through the other side and...
We could make it so that people can't come through, but we still have vision.
Yes.
And then we can see if anything is coming up on our ass.
You could lock it, yes.
Yeah. That might be worth considering. Also means that we might be spied upon, but if we're also looking back at all times, we'll be able to see that occurring.
Try that. The worst thing that happens is we need to close the portal because we notice somebody watching.
But
if they're having to... In theory, if they're having to use a postal carrier to send messages to relay that information, even if they were spying through it, it might not be that big a deal immediately. So, sure. I guess we'll just lock it to make sure it cannot be traversed, Midge.
Okay. You have 18.
How visually different does it look when it's locked?
It goes a bit cloudy. It's like looking through a red stained glass window.
I guess if we are setting up camp at the portal, we'll I'll get, say, 3 teams to do, say 200 meters away, barricade on the road, 200 meters further, barricade on the road, 200 meters further,
So,
barricade
like,
on the road.
to encamp up here, it will take, like, you will be going right to the road, and then it's, like, zigzaggy down,
Yeah.
and then it's into, like, that's where you'd start prepping an assault from, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
I want
that would be combat
barricades
stuff.
on the zigzag.
Okay.
Something nothing that is like, I want earthworks, but
You want
fat caltrops, tank traps.
you want what, pickets? You want to set up pickets.
Exactly.
It's like people that would,
And watches at each of those
Yeah.
200
That's
meter
what a picket
marks.
is. It's you set up like 4 men. If you see people coming down the road, you send one of them running. To
Exactly.
all parts of the line, kind of thing.
somebody with a flying mount at each one of them, so that they don't need to run zigzag. They can run.
That might be a bit more difficult because you're limited on the amount of flyers you have, and a lot of them are your heroes.
I'm aware.
So, but yeah,
I'm only asking for like 2 or 3 of these pickets.
Okay. Sure.
And I guess the instruction would be, if you are assaulted by something that you cannot face, you send the flyer up to the camp, and you run the guy who can't fly, or maybe he gets on the back of that and goes to the next picket area. And then, but hopefully by the time whatever force assails you, you'll have support coming from the camp.
I mean, if this is more just a zigzag that goes up and down, and that's why it's so long. I mean, I imagine if you just have like a one good horn blower, the first line could alert everybody without too much difficulty. Like I understand the logic of like, yeah, we need a flyer to be able to alert us. Like, I don't think we need a flyer for that. I think if we just have one guy that can blow like a war horn to alert like incoming or danger or we need help, I think that should be more than enough. Like, leave the flyers to get to them rather than having a flyer to get to us.
Yeah, I mean, it was more that I was thinking I don't want them to try and hold off a force on their own. I want them to be able to get away as well. But sure, horn probably do.
I guess I just envisioned it like if this place gets attacked, depending on what's attacking it, like we've shown that the air cavalry, we can drop in seconds and do some fucking damage.
You can.
Yeah.
And it just said, like, if they're having to fight up the side of a mountain, like, they're going to be at a serious disadvantage already.
But yeah, I went 24/7 on the telescope. Main points of focus being obviously like the front gate. Anytime that opens, I want head counts of what's in there, how many are coming out, how many are going in. Scan the walls, what kind of defenses they have, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Okay. So you begin.
I guess maybe the flyers could do some recon over it as well.
Yeah, is there, before we get into like full just designing a camp setup, planning how you're going to attack this, is there anything you want to do in this location? Does anyone want to go on a scouting mission? Does anyone want to get a bit of a lay of the land? Like, this is just the vision that you see. Like, how close do you want to get? Like, what are there any actions here that anyone wants to take?
Presumably because it's going to take time to scout to set the camp up and start doing this. Breton does want to. I think Breton's going to scout some. Yeah, he's going to try and get a good feel of the land at a closer look. I think he kind of wants to take a good look at this blood lake too. This thing that theoretically is what we're supposed to be trapping in ice.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Cool. So, Breton, are you going alone?
I mean, he's going on Silverell. So, is he ever really alone?
So true. So true. Okay.
As you know, our max hit points have been reduced back to normal because we no longer have the buffs.
That's a good point.
Temporary hit points.
Bren.
So just been over and knows that.
How long will you want to commit to this? As I give you the lay of the land.
How long would it take for the camp starts to be set up properly?
Like tents, etc. An hour. We're looking at 2 for defenses. Like rudimentary level of defenses.
Then I'm gonna say 1 hour.
Sure.
Just so that just honestly, yeah, an hour. We'll just go with an hour. That's fine.
Absolutely. Okay. So you begin to fly. Do you want to go east or west? like as you were coming out the portal. So to the left of the side, like left to the castle, right to the castle.
East.
Sure. Okay. Give me an at advantage perception check because you and Silveril are working together on this. But the first thing that you notice is the blood lake and this mountain that the castle is kind of built into, and the one that you're on. Basically, these are like two mountain ranges poking out of the blood lake. This blood lake isn't like ringing, and it's more the fact that the land masses poke out of this blood lake more than anything. You're like on two islands almost. It's like, sure, they go on for a little bit more like left and right, and the islands kind of interconnect with some of these extra pools of blood. But from what you can see, because like you get a good eyesight of like the flow slightly of the lake, it seems that there's a high tide and low tide where like some of the left, like the paths that you'd take for the left flank and the right flank, etc., the elevation of the water might change, or if you can call it water, it's blood. The other thing that you really quickly notice, there's no birds. There's no natural life here. The only life, air quotes, is the siege camp and this castle. Everything else is just this blood lake. And there is these two main mountain ranges poking out. Every now and then there are like these. They look like fossilized bone just bursting from the blood. Like a rib cage, a part of a skull, all gargantuan in size.
Anything appreciably understandable about what could possibly be that big? Like, are these dragon skeletons? Are these giant skeletons? Are these just horrible monstrosities of no identifiable nature?
You would say it's odd because they're humanoid. But they are
my God.
larger than any humanoid in any book, in any certifiable piece of knowledge. Primordial, in fact.
Maybe Noel's corpse.
And it's very clear that it's not all one body.
Yeah, that's why it's like it seems like it was multitude of these things. It wasn't just one body buried in the blood here.
And the blood looks endless, by the way. Like you do not see an end to this. This plane is just full of it.
All right, then.
There aren't walls, there aren't anything. Okay, something else you do pick up quite quickly in your observation, because as you circle back, you do get a good look at the fort. Like I said, it seems like there is a saleable. The wall is slightly lower, and there's like less like. The castle itself is built up on another bit of a mountain, so it's both forces would have to go down into this like main frontal assault crossing, and then back up to try and assault whatever position it is. The left flank and has slightly less cliff but big walls, and you could get a token force around there. Right flank, it's mainly cliff, no real discernible walls. So if you have good climbers, it's an easier way into the castle. However, you need to cross water mostly on that side. The other thing that you pick out, there is a small token force at that lighthouse. And that lighthouse seems to pulse with energy slightly.
Token force in that lighthouse, and there is something significant to that lighthouse. Okay. About how far from how far from the keep is that lighthouse?
So when we're talking actual squares here, each square is, let me just count this.
Just getting an idea of, like, if riders were to come out of the front gate of the castle, how long would it take them to get to the lighthouse, is essentially what he's trying to figure out.
So each square is 100 feet.
So 1, 2, 3, 4... 500 feet, give or take?
Yeah.
So that's pretty close, relatively. Like, that would be...
As the crows flies, yes.
Ooh. Fast horses could be on that in less than a minute.
So
it's just
not
good
100, it's
information to have.
120, but yes.
So it's still close to a minute.
Yes.
Okay. Breton will return to the camp and start relaying this to the people in question. Like, it's blood and it's blood as far as everything. Like, I understood that we were coming to the plane of blood, and we knew the blood lake was going to be part of it. I guess I didn't comprehend that literally the entire plane is just the blood, rather than the blood keep is a big point of it. Not very many angles to assail the keep from, but we have a couple of opportunities. There's something about this lighthouse as well at the front of the keep. There's a force that's a station there, and there's some form of power that is emanating from it. I don't know if it's an alert system or if it's some form of early protection or not. Might be worth looking at first.
No, I'd agree with that. If nothing else, it'd be a good place to scout from as well. We can get this telescope to that lighthouse. I feel like that might be a good idea. I mean, what are lighthouses used for? He says someone of the Underdark who has absolutely no idea what the fuck
Lighthouses
lighthouse is.
exist in the Underdark.
Big.
There are oceans in the Underdark.
Yeah, I suppose. Okay.
I think you actually need more in the Underdark, because it's always dark in the Underdark.
Yeah.
It's all lighthouse because it's all dangerous. No, definitely get. They're built to be seen from anywhere, therefore they can see anywhere. Be a phenomenal place to scout from. An overview of a lot.
When you said that there was forces that were clearly inhabiting it, Midge, like, is this lighthouse so big that it, like, has an entire battalion of people? Or are we talking like maybe a dozen?
You're looking at... It'd be more than a dozen.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like 40 people that you could have spied, you'd say? 40
people, okay.
Or entities.
So
when you say people...
Yeah, it's...
like, are we talking like 40 common soldiers? Or are we talking like 40 death knights? That's a pretty desperate range of threat.
You didn't see any death knights, I will tell you that.
Okay.
There was a lot of those hound men, but there was also just what looked like humans. And skeletons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Undead, makes sense. I think once the defenses are set up and everything is ready, that would be a good first place to take. But I also understand Ruby is not in the best shape to handle direct and open potential warfare, so if we want this to be the first 8 hours and we ensure that the defenses are set up as they're going to be for everything, then this would be the time to get some sleep.
I would agree with that.
Okay. So, you're taking a long rest?
Breton is not taking a long rest. Breton is good as me. I think Breton is going to use this 8 hours to periodically continue scouting.
Okay.
Ruby needs it because Ruby needs to replenish, but I don't think Valymr and I haven't been doing anything taxing, or we've been getting our sleep, so I think we're good to...
Yeah, I need 4 hours anyway, only, so I can take those 4 hours, get my luck back, because I fucking need it, and then I can do some scouting as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Breton is completely topped off. He has not used anything, so he's good to to keep on doing the scouting things.
Sure. So with just mechanically how this sieging is going to work, every half day, I'm going to get you guys to roll to see if there's any siege events that happen. Those are going to be our siege ticks.
Hey.
I'm sure Valymr understands this concept. For those of us who have never played these games, that
basically,
we want to roll a 14.
There's a natural set of events that can happen within sieges. You know, enemies could sally out. You could have issues in the camp, etc. There's going to be all sorts here. I've got a bit of a chart. And also, sometimes nothing can happen. Sometimes you just get a day of progress.
yeah, sometimes like sieges are terrible and awful and suffering for both sides, but they're also really fucking boring.
Yeah, that's just lighten the mood, I guess. But also, you guys are gonna. You did as a note. I want to quickly, as a GM, congratulate the three of you for getting here. You got here with all of the forces intact. That's a huge part.
And pretty damn fast at it too.
Yeah, like you could have taken a lot longer to get here. And a lot more people could have died. You dealt with a lot of problems very well. So you do have a lot of forces that you can commit to the deployment. And what I will make available, essentially, in the week after this, is I'll make... It's going to take me a little time to give you, like, the description of what each of these things are. But essentially, I'm going to give you the workout of what all of the troops you have to deploy are, and allow you to start, like, making an actual battle plan for the siege. Obviously, there are siege events that might change how many people you have alive, how much supplies you have. Remember, you've got 2 months of supply. So I just want to quickly congratulate you on that, and also tell you that how that's going to work. But every 12 hours you're here, I'm going to do a siege tick. There are positive siege ticks as well. Like, your commanders and your forces will take actions on their own at various points as well. Whether that's because they're assigned as scouts, whether they're guards, whether they're paladins looking to make a name for themselves. There are things that might happen, good or bad on that front as well. And that's also going to, affect things. The walls, like there is a garrison there. Starvation isn't really a thing for the undead. So, I'm sorry, that route really doesn't help you. I mean, there are some non-undead there, but, once they die, they just come back. It's an unfortunate thing about the undead. So, you can't really starve this castle out. But, you're building siege equipment. You can breach various parts of the walls, most likely. There are things that will happen. And I'm also not going to navigate every single thing. You, as the heroes, will have the opportunities to kind of jump into scenes if and when they happen. Because at the end of the day, this is an army, and this is 2 armies pitching against each other. You can try to do everything, but there will be times when your commanders just need to take the wheel on these things, and you'll get the results more than anything. That's also the fallacy of leadership. You lose a lot of control of being able to directly implement things. That being said, you now have essentially what is going to be before our first siege tick to do some tasks. Ruby is going to sleep for a lot of that, but then you will have, 12 hours for every siege tick, so a long rest is 8. You're still going to have 4 hours where you can assign some time to yourself there.
Right, use it every half day, not every quarter day, so it's every 12 hours something happens.
Yes. And the more siege ticks that happen, the more chances of other siege ticks will happen, if that makes sense. So right now, there is a higher majority chance of things not happening, depending on actions, etc., etc. So, let us begin. Breton, you wanted to do some scouting.
Breton is going to periodically be scouting during this period of time. He's not going to force Overall to fly the entire 8 hours, but I think at least a period of scouting followed by a period of resting, followed by more scouting, just to not just continue to get a better lay of the land for everything, like looking for what looked to be solid ground lanes that trips could move on amidst this horrible blood lake that we have to get through, but also immediate, like trying to keep a good eye for any early warnings for if they are mobilizing anything. Breton wants to know about it, so we know about it.
Sure. Yeah. Totally. Valymr, you're also going to be scouting. How are you going to go about it? What are you looking to do?
Hey.
Or would you like to commit your time to something else?
I think after I've helped sort out these picket lines.
Sure.
He would have a 4-hour nap, and then he would also like to do a little bit of scouting.
Sure.
But
okay.
He's gonna be out on his Mount Sturka, and he's gonna be on the ground looking, like, obviously flying and seeing a way for troops to move is good, but actually getting like feet on the ground to see like exactly like if there are any pitfalls, any ground that is.
So I have a question for that. Are you looking to, shall I say, enter the deployment zone? Because
no, I wouldn't get within.
So you want to say stay outside
range
of the siege map.
Yeah, I don't want to get in range of where I think, I could be shot at.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Sure. And then Ruby, once you've rested, there's 4 hours before the siege tick. Would you like to commit that 4 hours to trying to finish your spell?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Right. We'll start with Breton.
Yeah.
Breton, give me a D20 roll.
Flat D20 roll.
This is just a
sure.
This is on a board of
9.
Okay. Give me 3 perception checks. At advantage.
3 perception checks at advantage.
Are you wanting to still go east? Do you want to go west?
He's going to foray every single direction. He's going to try and survey as much of the terrain as possible. He's not just going to focus on one.
Are you going to try and enter the siege deployment zone at all, or are you still also staying outside of it?
You know what? I'll say the first one, he's gone east. He'll go west on the next one. Sure. Depending on what he learns and how readily they seem like they're ready to engage, he'll risk getting closer on, I'll say, the second and third one.
Okay, sure. Okay, give me that first perception check then.
First one is not as good as the first one. I'm gonna use the luck. Actually, we're getting close to the end of the session. Do we want to use inspiration on this one, or do you want to save it for one of your rolls?
Or do you want to save it for when you do one of the ones that's closer to the keep?
Sure, I have advantage on this already. I'm just asking. I'll use my personal luck for this one. I won't ask the party to do that. That's fine. That is a 20.
20. Okay. So you survey the east this time, and again, it's a lot more of these bones and the blood. But you also notice like smaller hillocks, and mountain ranges, like the areas that you are not nearly as vast, but there are small ones. And then you actually notice one. There's one that seems to be like covered in like a moss and some trees growing out of it. Like there is a little bit of life here. Well, I mean, you think they're wood and you think it's trees. Like there is something like there is a plant life here. So you found you found a small like what I'm going to call a resource node.
Mm-hmm.
You could, in theory, with this, assign some people, if you can get them over there, and receive crafting material from this.
This was on the west side, because he started on the east, right?
I think you went west first and then east. Or did you go west this time?
No, I definitely went east first. This is the west side.
Okay, this is the west side.
Okay. It may not be significant, but the east side was predominantly just Blood Lake, and the west side was
Blood Lake and Bones. The first
Yeah.
flight.
Okay. If that's got mixed around, Mitch, we can correct that, because I know you said one of these sides was almost entirely Blood Lake and not really approachable unless you were crossing the water.
Yes, that would have been east, because that's how, because you needed to cross the water to assault it as well, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be west. So this is the lighthouse side that you've gone.
All right, so we have the three
and
resources on the west side.
Yeah, it's probably like maybe half an hour's fly. This one, this particular resource node, and you feel like you think about it and it's like you could get crafting material out of this. You know, wood is going to be kind of vital in the camp. Like, if you need to assign people to grab some resources from here, you can.
Okay, that's the first one. We'll go ahead and roll.
So now
we're pushing closer to the keep.
You're going to push close to the keep.
That's a natural 20 for 28.
Hell yeah.
Okay. I'm going to roll for the keep because you're entering deployment soon. You feeling emboldened by the task is at hand. To the task. You are at the task. You take a full-on, I'm just going to fly straight over the keep. See what their response is. See what happens. Silverill's fast enough. And heck, if you get to fight something for a moment, time to do some justice. So you take a glide straight over the top of what would be the aerial deployment zone. And you look down and you see in the what looks to be like a central courtyard of the upper citadel, like the most top portion of the keep, you see like a breathing chasm that is drinking blood within the castle.
Part of me just wondered.
This large pool. That is just like so. If you're looking at the image, you'll notice there's like blood flowing.
Yeah.
It's only now that you get close that you notice that that blood is flowing up the castle. It's not flowing out of it.
Okay.
The castle is drinking.
Okay. What are the odds that this castle is just as live as the fucking furnace was? Anybody got an extra Vorpal dagger we can just drop down there? Alright. Sure.
Yeah, I think you're probably right.
But you would also identify that might be a weak spot.
Yeah. No, I that's why I was like, my person was like, do we have a purple dagger we can just drop from that one too? Maybe this problem ends itself real quick. All right, we have found a weak spot. I'm putting all this in my notes server, absolutely.
Hey, a natural 20 on a flyby is real good. The other thing that you pick up is this area looks to be heavily guarded. It's like you see what look to be mages and death knights and a whole host of troops on the walls. You also notice that the very top tower seems to be a bell tower. And as you complete your flyby and you get like just far enough away, the bell starts ringing. Now, it didn't go unnoticed, but it wasn't noticed before you flew over. So some skeleton's just been unanimated. Clearly.
Then I think with that incredible roll and with the fact that I managed to get away with that without any immediate damage to Silveril or Breton, I think on the third one, the keep itself is literally attached to the mountain range. There's not really a behind it, correct?
There's not really a behind it. It's like built into. I think Minas Tirith.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's a good call. That's what I thought this setup.
Well, actually, a better shout would be Minas Morgul, but
sure, fair enough. I think on the third recon, because he's done a great job looking at the top of it here, he's gotten some information on the west and the east flank. I think he's going to take a real close look at the actual lighthouse to try and get. He's going to try and get an idea of, like, you said there's some, like, a power or something emanated from it. He's going to try and get an idea of what they're using that for, more specifically, I think.
Absolutely. Are you going speedily or stealthily?
Stealthily, sure.
Okay. Can you make a stealth check with
Triple
Silver?
disadvantage.
Absolutely. With what? At
With
what?
Silver.
Was a stealth check with Solvril. Okay,
Yes.
I need to bring up a Griffin character sheet then.
Yeah. Because I think they do have, if they take it from the Eagles, they might actually have silent flying.
I don't think they have side of flag. No,
Okay.
I think this is a check.
Is it giant owls that have them?
Wait. What? Remember the armor that you put on Silveril? Was that heavy armor?
It was chain barding,
Yeah. It's made of mithril.
but I think
no
it was
idea.
also made of mithril, so it was very quiet. I remember that much.
Yeah, it doesn't
so
impose
this is
any.
This is a stealth check +2,
Nice.
and because Solvril's making it, I cannot add the D12 bardic inspiration to it. But a natural 19 for a 21, I'll take that.
That's some pure gliding.
I am being rewarded for the fact that my first roll of the day was a natural 1.
Yeah. So you whip round, and essentially Silveril uses, because you're flying high to get above the fortress, Silveril essentially just goes in a dive as you look past. And what was your roll? A dirty 20 for the...
It was a 21.
Oh, no, for the perception, or have you not done the perception roll yet?
Oh, for the perception, that was a 20. Yes,
Yeah.
a non-natural 20.
So you get a view inside the top of the lighthouse as you fly past. And in it you see this large gemstone of a deep crimson. The gem looks familiar, like the material.
Does it remind me of the spell cannons?
No. Well, no.
Okay, so is the lighthouse literally just they have an open-ended spell cannon to accelerate these mages that we've learned about previously?
It looks like Selite.
It looks like a mirror.
Oh.
piece.
Well, the obsidian Selite is a mirror piece.
Selite
is also
isn't Selite the gemstones for the
That's the stuff
Warforged?
they use in the Warforged, yeah.
the soul stones. Yes.
Crimson Cellite.
Didn't Ruby get a crimson Selite for like when we all got like
Yeah.
rewarded with gemstones?
But it looks like it's
Is this a
Selite.
different red?
It's a different red. But the material looks like Selite.
Hmm.
I'm not
Might
there, I don't
have.
know.
You also notice
Yeah.
that this lighthouse also seems to have a dock
Okay.
on the far side. So there is definitely like something like people sail here clearly. Like that is a valid method of transport if they've got a lighthouse and a dock here.
That lighthouse on the picture, that's the thing that's by the F, right?
Yes,
Oh,
it's the
frontless doors.
tower
Okay.
with the secondary tower. The secondary tower, there is 2 towers there. So there's this main lighthouse tower with the gemstone in the middle. And then there is what seems to be like it seems to be like a signal fire tower / garrison tower next to it. Breton, you also pick up that there is like a ballista on there. And then that square base is actually like ramparted. It's fortified. And then there is a bridge going back towards the castle, which also has miniature towers and gates within it. It's like a drawbridge system over to this lighthouse.
And they're connected together. Checks out.
Any assault on the keep, we should probably take the outer fortifications first.
Yeah.
This seems like definitely step 1.
You'd
If that's
have to-
drawbridge situation, destroying those drawbridges to prevent reinforcements and then taking on whatever garrisons there seems like
So
a valid plan.
to get like if you wanted to get to the lighthouse on land, you'd have to essentially go to the castle wall and then double back on yourself. Like the entrance is.
So this is aerial assault.
You have to aerial or across the water and then take the drawbridges.
I really don't feel like sailing ever at any point in my entire life.
Yep.
We know where some wood resources, but I don't fancy how easy that would be to make boats to do this. I think that'd be a problem. I think aerial forces is the correct call here.
Yeah.
And the structures underneath the U of assault. What's all that situation?
So those look to be bones. Those aren't structures.
Okay, those are the bones. Right.
They look like that's like the sort of colossal size of the bones that you're seeing.
Okay.
That's just an example.
We're getting close here, and I want the other two to be able to get their chance to get in here and do this, Midge. I think, because Breton, after each scout, he's coming in and giving, like, the full the report of this to all the commanders, and, like, this is the situation, so everybody knows what's going on. I think he's going to pick up the sending stone he has to Zep.
Yeah.
And just say, and, like, be like, Zep, assaulting Bloodkeep, enemy possesses what looks like blood Salite, any information appreciated. Consult Duke if you can.
Okay. Yeah.
Because if anybody would know about it, it'd be the Iron Duke and.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will mark off a sending stone.
Yep.
Oh no, we have the sending stones.
Oh yeah. right, that wasn't a step
he has one to Zep. No, we are connected to Zep specifically.
Do you have a
Zep
stone?
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, we have a Zep stone. That's why I was fine doing it because we can do that once a day for free. So why not just hey Zep?
No, good idea.
Ruby, gonna go to you. You get a full rest. The camp is raised around you. But your mind is fixated. You're so close. Give me one final Arcana check.
Ruby gets the spell, and we start this siege by her literally just burning a hole in the side of this keep. That's a natural 20!
There is no better way to end this spell process.
You've been staying awake for
she could use
so
our
long.
Inspiration.
You've been staying awake for so long, powering through this. If you feel like you haven't slept since the first spark, an idea of this spell wandered into your brain, like a feather falling from a wing. It's been on your mind in every waking moment, even when facing your true self. And you wake up from your rest and you go to the phoenix feather. You look at it, the one that you were given by your bloodline. Feather of the true phoenix, and you just stare. Just something catches in the light and sparks that inspiration once more. You burst out your wings and you fly high above the encampment. You feel ready to utilize your spell. To give it one final test. And hey, it looks like there's a large target in front of you. What would you like to do?
It is done. And she will tell Breton and Valymr.
So would you like to read everybody your spell that you've crafted for us?
Sure.
Give us the description and the name, please.
The spell is called Dies Irae. Praise for the Day of Wrath.
I need to change the song.
It is a 9th level spell that takes 1 action to cast, has a range of 500 feet, and requires verbal, somatic, and material components. School is evocation, and its saving throw is dexterity. This spell is the pinnacle of destructive power and can be cast in 1 to 3 rounds, becoming consecutively more powerful for each round it is powered up. A line of roaring flame, 500 feet long and 15 feet wide, emanates from you in a direction you choose. Each creature in the line must make a dexterity saving throw. At stage 1, it takes 20d6 fire and 20d6 radiant on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one, increasing to 30d6 fire and radiant on stage 2, and finally 40d6 radiant and fire on stage 3. The target is disintegrated if this damage leaves it with 0 hit points. A disintegrated creature and everything it is wearing and carrying, except magical items, are reduced to a pile of fine gray dust. The creature can only be restored to life by means of a true resurrection or wish spell. This spell automatically disintegrates a large or smaller non-magical object or creation of magical force. If the target is huge or larger object of creation of force, this spell disintegrates a 15-foot cube portion of it. A magic item is unaffected by the spell.
The first thing we're going to do after we take this tower is just burn a hole in the front door, right?
It is a 9th level spell, so you are not... You just know how to do this spell. You're like, oh, that's a target. Like, you can do the practice thing, but, yeah, you still need that spell slot. But the spell's done. And boy, oh boy, is there a target.
I have crossed the threshold.
Oh, I feel bad now, because if we had taken that deal for the level up, you'd have access to it.
Yep.
Devil deals, though. Can't trust them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
you would be leveling up alone, I think.
Yeah, and instead I got 4 potions. Awesome.
Anyways. Alright. I think that's our first 12 hours, Midge. Do we want to roll our first siege tick to call out session?
Yeah, well, Valymr, you wanted to do some scouting as well, yes? You were going...
Oh, sorry, right. Hang on. Yeah, right enough. Yeah.
Just along the road towards the keep.
Not entering the...
Not entering any range of clapback.
So, yeah, not entering the deployment map. Okay. Give me a perception check or an investigation check. Different DCs.
Considering this might be the last roll of the session, shall I use the session inspiration?
Yeah, I think you're to go for it now.
Dirty 20.
Okay, you just about notice this. Along the path of the frontal assault, up ahead of you, in the rocks, you notice a lot of pitfalls and areas where you think, that looks trapped. Oh, this is going to be hard. Like, this terrain is prepared. You are in prepared enemy terrain. And you think it might be wise ahead of time to get a team of people down here to try and disable and make ready some of these traps. But if you get too close to the deployment zone, that might incur, like, you might need to defend them, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. That's good info.
Sounds like a really smart thing to do after we take the lighthouse.
Yeah.
And we can have our forward forces.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get fired on by the lighthouse while we are trap clearing.
Yeah, and you know that, like, you think from the edge of where the traps start, it would be the lighthouse that hit you first. You also managed to scout sort of east and west, like along the bottom of the mountain that you're on. And there seems to be a set of caves under this mountain that you're on.
Okay. I wouldn't want to explore in the caves alone. So I think after I've scouted forward, then I come back, start ascending the castle again. I will inform if Ruby's still busy doing her spell, then it won't be her. If Bren's already scouting, it won't be him. It just
inform people that, hey, this mountain has holes.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. Okay then. Who would like to roll for the siege tick?
I don't know, like we've had
low rolls are bad, so not me.
Shall I say it's a D100 roll?
It's a D100 roll. All right, you know what? Let's.
It's divided into
Yeet.
ranges.
Oops, I don't need to roll 2d100s.
Yeah, you take the first one, Breton.
I'll take the first one. Why not? Wow. 10.
A 10. Okay. So, we are probably going to start next session with a small aerial combat. As you all see, a number of small flying beasts begin to be launched from the citadel.
We poked the hornet's nest and the hornet's nest responded. That's fair.
I'm thinking Goblin Doom Diver.
Think more flying.
They're just being launched out of catapults at us.
No, think,
Look, he said launched. He didn't say they started flying towards us, did he?
think
Like, I thought we were attacking the Bloodkeep. We weren't going to piss off the Green Wedge and fly, my monkey! Just sending him out at us.
little, just Collider Monkey. Yeah, okay.
Okay, stop.
No, they look to be some sort of half-eaten flying beasts with riders coming towards you. And your flyers also begin to mount up. So I will...
This is going to be the first battle for the Bloodkeep. Like,
First phase of the Battle of the Bloodkeep, it's going to be a battle of fighter pilots. So I'll have that set up.
as is right. As is maybe not typical for fantasy, but you know what? It's pretty typical for warfare of this age, at least.
Yeah, I mean, you're like, look, we're battle Britoning it now, so I guess so. Join us next time where we're going to have an aerial battle. But for now, all I've got to do is to thank those who have been here. Thank you to DM Lake, to Lord Lambert, and to Bethany Rose. I've been Midgeman. We have been the Elendor Chronicles cast, and we will see you next time. Bye bye now.
True.